survivors on board. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe reports.
The White House press secretary saying that confirming that there were these two strikes on the boat in question. She refers to Admiral Bradley, that is Admiral Frank Bradley, who serves as commander of the United States Special Operations Command since October, and she said that he operated within his legal rights, and that is because the president has now classified this whole situation essentially as a terrorist operation, and so in the view of the White House, at least, they have the legal means to carry this out.
Lawmakers from both parties support congressional reviews of the strikes. The White House says it's optimistic about the chances for a deal to end the war in Ukraine. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
Special Envoy Witkoff is on his way to Russia. This is sort of the shuttle diplomacy that you've seen from this administration play out, where we speak equally with both sides. We've put points on paper. Those points have been very much refined. But as for the details, I will let the negotiators negotiate. But we do feel quite good.
At a White House Christmas party today, President Trump talked about the two National Guard troops who were shot last week in Washington. One remains in serious condition.
He's a fabulous young man, highest. Both of them were the best everything, the best of their class, the best of their class. And maybe he'll be okay. He's going through a lot.
The suspect from Afghanistan struggled with mental health issues, according to a caseworker. CBS's Nicole Skanga has more.
Psychiatric trauma is really common among asylum seekers, especially veterans of U.S.-backed units like Lockenwall's. But this kind of concern from a caseworker should have triggered additional review, support, intervention, and possibly monitoring.
There were more travel delays today as a storm system swept across the northern part of the country.
Our flight was canceled, so we rented a car and drove to Omaha. From Omaha to Phoenix and Phoenix to here.
Geez, so how long was that journey?
All day yesterday till this morning. So this is our honeymoon, so we kind of did what we could to make it happen.
Jason Brooks reports home prices have remained steady despite lower sales because of delistings.
Redfin reports that nearly 85,000 U.S. sellers removed their listings in September, a 28% gain from a year earlier and the highest level for September in 8 years. The report says that 7 in 10 listings were considered stale in September.
On Wall Street today, stocks finished lower. The Dow Jones Industrial's off 427 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Coming up, a fight leads to a lockdown at a local high school. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, Aaron, Lake Washington Windows and Doors has our update. It's a nice commute on most all of our major routes this afternoon. Light volumes, Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett are both taking just a half hour. Linwood to Seattle is only 20 minutes. Got a little crowding between the U District and West Seattle Bridge to get through. Gets kind of thick there at 520. North 5, a little slowing into downtown, starting at the West Seattle Bridge. Bellevue to Renton's at 20 minutes. We do have heavy volumes between South Bellevue to Cold Creek Parkway. After that, though, you're going to clear out pretty quickly. Over to the Valley Freeway, both directions of State Route 167, a heavy through Pacific. Heavier northbound, of course, through the work zone. Plan on about 15 minutes to make it through this backup. And Tacoma to Olympia at just 35 minutes. Right now, buy one, get one 50% off at Lake Washington Windows and Doors, plus 12 months of zero interest financing. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Gornillo. This just in, Highline High School in Burien was locked down today for about 90 minutes. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay live in studio with the latest. Frank.
Aaron, the reports came in about 1 o'clock this afternoon about somebody on campus there with a gun.
There was some sort of altercation between kids.
Possibly one student. We know one student was assaulted. They may have been pistol whipped. That was Brandon Hull you heard there in the King County Sheriff's Office. We do know that 3 people were taken into custody. Still no word yet what led up to all this, but the good news is the lockdown is over. It was lifted around 2:30 and the kids have been dismissed for the day. Aaron?
All right, thank you, Frank. Meantime, 4 teenagers were set to make their first court appearance after Seattle police say they opened fire on officers during a high-speed chase Saturday night. Seattle police shared body camera video with KIRO KIRO 7 TV.
Got shots fired. Security officers south 5, just south of Corson. Suspect vehicle is a black Dodge Durango, no plate.
No officers were hurt, but another car was struck. Police say the teens were inside a stolen SUV. Detectives are looking for 2 more suspects. A gunman is on the loose following a deadly shooting this morning at a hookah lounge in the Chinatown International District. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details there.
Homicide investigators arrived on scene immediately after the shooting, and at the same time, officers on the street were looking for the suspect. Not much is known about exactly what happened here, other than that it started with an altercation inside the lounge. The gunman left and then fired from outside the front door. SPD Detective Eric Munoz.
The motive is still unknown, but we do know he was involved with an altercation. Shortly after that, he pulled out a gun and started firing multiple rounds.
The victim was shot once in the back and died during surgery. In the CID, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Multiple sources now tell KIRO News Radio that Green River killer Gary Ridgway is receiving end-of-life care at the Washington State Penitentiary. The 76-year-old serial killer pleaded guilty to murdering 49 women back in 2003. The Washington Department of Corrections cannot comment, it says, on Ridgway's medical condition due to privacy laws. Weather update now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Cloudy skies right now with some rain right now over the Olympic Peninsula, starting to move a bit more inland. Could see some light showers later on tonight. Right now, 46 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
The moon! You guys, I have to tell you, look at the moon. That's amazing.
Thank you, Katy Perry. Taking some time out from dating Mr. Trudeau, spend some time looking at the moon. I am behind by 2 minutes because I stopped for Joe. Can I get you a cup of coffee? And hoping he'd say no. And I stand there and watch the machine dribble out stupid coffee for Joe. And we don't have my, I don't have my computer. But now you got to wait because now I got to get my computer along. And now I keep spelling my name wrong. I just spelled it Screw Joe. That's not how you spell the name.
Sounds like poor planning to me.
No, that's me. You should not have taken my offer for a coffee. Driving for Dr. Pepper when it first got started, or a couple of years later, realized because people are right-handed, I think I can increase the sales of Dr. Pepper by 45%.
Oh, you talking about foots?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're way too excited about that story. Plus, TSA announces that if you don't have the real ID, they're going to charge you $45. That's good to know. And then Jim Walsh is going to come on. He's very upset because a well-known socialist has decided let's just tax corporations and businesses even more money. So Walsh is going to be taking off on that. Rye Roller stops by, talk about the Seahawks' big win against the Vikings, and also has a couple of nasty things to say about the fact that our offensive line was not prepared for the fact that Flores, who was the defensive coach for the Vikings, said, we're going to blitz every play. And they did blitz every play. And it was like, didn't the news get to Seattle?
Come on, guys.
Come on. Hey, Hey. And then let's see a bunch of other stuff. Cliff Mass stops by, our professor of atmospheric sciences at UW. But there's a lawsuit. It's such a dumb lawsuit. These people are saying, oh, my homeowner insurance is going up because of climate change. You're going to try to make the connections between, and it's because the fossil fuel industry knew that they were affecting climate, but they hid all that information from us, so therefore we're going to be able to go get them. Similar to another lawsuit where a woman died, I think she froze to death or something. Then they decided, okay, we're going to sue, this is in the state of Washington, she was in Seattle, we're going to sue the fossil fuel companies because she's dead. Anyway, that... similar case is going to go that way. All right, let's get right to Dan Wood. Here he is, the worst yacht salesman in the Northwest. All right, this is where Dan Wood goes from worst yacht salesman to biggest hearted individual in the Northwest. Because every year, how long you been doing this now, Dan?
It's been about 25 years, John.
Okay.
Look at that mustache.
I know. He likes to, he gets it all curly and everything. So give us the quick story, if you can, about Forgotten Children's Fund and the letter. Okay, Dan, the letter that was written and they could never find the person it was who wrote it. Was it a letter to Santa?
It was a cheers kind of moment, John, one you would enjoy.
Okay.
It was at Francisco's restaurant up on Denny and Aurora. And there was a mailman, there was a cop, there was an FBI agent, all the guys hanging out in the bar.
Yeah.
And the mailman intercepted a letter to Santa. And this was in the 70s, back in the days when you could open federal mail without going to jail. Can I get a drum?
Yeah, you want to? Hang on a second. Pick it up from back in the day when you could. Go ahead.
Okay, back in the day when you could get, you wouldn't go to jail for opening federal mail. Anyway,
nice. There we go.
There we go.
All right.
And so the letter said, "Dear Santa, Mom said you weren't coming this year. Don't bring anything for me because I don't need anything. Bring something for my sister because she's been good, but don't bring anything for my dad because he doesn't live here anymore." So all these guys were Marines, right?
Yeah.
And they're sitting around and they're going, wow. They started crying and they go, we got to find this guy. And that's how it started.
We got to find what guy? Find the guy that wasn't living
Craig.
there?
The kid's name was Craig that wrote the letter. And they said, we got to find Craig. And so they set out to find him. And then one thing led to another. And now we deliver to 800 families in King, Pierce, and Snohomish counties, basically from border to border in Washington State. 800 families and 3,000 children.
And this thing's been going on, and it's an army of volunteers that do all the gift wrapping. You don't need any more volunteers to do that. You have, I don't know how many trucks end up delivering bikes, everything that all gets organized. And then Santa and elves go out to all these houses. And I did it once, Dan. You talked me into it. You didn't take much to talk me into it. But I got a chance to play an elf. And we went into homes, Dan, where the shock on the face of the mother, but the surprise and joy in the face of the children, sometimes I would be so wrecked going into the houses, I couldn't go back into the next house. And a couple other elves sat in the vans with me and said, I can't go in. It's just too upsetting. It's really.
I went into 9 homes on my first try, and I cried 6 times. And I apologized to Santa, and he says, it's okay, don't worry about it. But there's those that say that we're the lucky ones because we get to go in and do this and really make these people's Christmas one worth remembering. And, we've had some great stories of people coming back after getting help from us, and so it's full circle. So sometimes we're the lucky ones, John, that we get to help these people, and it's very rewarding.
Yeah, you have this down. I mean, you really have this army of people that care, and going into the houses, and because the kids, you have to understand that the kids don't expect anything. The mother has basically told them, mostly just a mom there, that Christmas is not coming. You might walk in and there will be like a little tiny tree there in the corner, but they don't expect anything. And all of a sudden, in comes Santa in the elves, much larger and older than most people would expect. And you're in the house for about like 5, 6, 7 minutes or less. And then there's this joyful gales of laughter. And then you close the door, you get back into Santa's van that he's driving, and you go to the next house and the next house. It is the most rewarding Christmas I think I've ever had.
Yeah. And it goes without saying that all these people are very grateful, and they get a present, they get a warm winter jacket, they get a blanket, they get a bike. We typically give each family a bike. We're getting 200 bikes delivered tomorrow, and then the guys put them together. We get them in the boxes so that our dollar goes farther. And 92 cents of every dollar that's raised by the Forgotten Children's Fund goes to the cause. So That's another interesting statistic that I find very endearing, because a lot of charities don't return like that. There's a few that do, and that makes it all worth it when you know you give your money and it's going to the right cause. Everybody's a volunteer, John.
Yeah.
And nobody draws a salary, and I have 400 volunteers on Christmas Eve day.
Yeah, is that all taken? Because I know people might want to experience that. So are all the volunteers, is Santa and all the elves, that's all been claimed at this point?
Yeah, you go to the website, the ForgottenChildren'sFund.org, and you can learn about the charity and you can get involved. And you got to be Johnny on the spot. They fill up rather quickly, but you can get involved and go in and give your time at the warehouse and help out, and then eventually rise up to getting in the houses and stuff. But it's right now, we've been working before Thanksgiving this year to get into our warehouse, and we get a warehouse donated, by the way, so that we don't have to pay for one all year long, and we just use it for a month and boom, we're out. So we really try to make our dollars go a lot farther.
And then the other part of it I remember is that afterwards everybody goes back to the warehouse, and then there's a gigantic Christmas dinner for everybody. Is that all donated as well, Dan?
That is, and that's a Metropolitan Grill. So Metropolitan Grill comes in and puts on a feast. I mean, these guys that show up, my volunteers, they show up, they've been up since 6 o'clock, getting their outfits on, getting down to the warehouse and getting the trucks ready and loading them up. And then by the time they get back, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So Metropolitan Grill is very gracious and one of our big sponsors, and they put on a meal for all the volunteers, and it's very, very much appreciative.
What would you do without this?
I call my family every year and I say, you know what? I'm giving you the same thing I gave you last year for Christmas. Nothing. I'm going to go work at the Forgotten Children's Fund, and that's your present. And they appreciate it, and they donate to the causes too as well.
Yeah, I just one last thing I did just remember, but they would read the letter before going in. Santa would read the letter out about who the family is, what they needed, any stories about what was happening there. And then he would say, Santa or whoever the head elf was in the van would then say, so that's the story. If you don't want to go in, if you think it might be too much for you, then you can stay in the van. I mean, that's how real this is, right? That you are walking into sometimes really just devastating chaos or whatever happened to the family over the year, and you're coming in just for a brief moment. The bike isn't going to change anything in the long run. Maybe it does, but for just a brief moment, Christmas is not forgotten in these houses.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's
was that a call to sell a boat? You just
yeah, well, actually it's my IT guy. So
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the IT guy just tells you to turn it off and turn it back on again. You don't need that information. All right. So again, the name of the website is
ForgottenChildren'sFund.org.
Okay. All right. And any support that you can give, certainly, as Dan points out, that the money goes directly to the bottom line. Very little overhead, as you can tell by the way Dan is dressed and also groomed. So, all right. Well, I will see you on the 3rd, right? Is that coming up? Was that Wednesday?
Yeah, that's day after tomorrow. And I'm surprised I'm on the air with a video. And this is radio. Now,
I know.
I've been told I have a face for radio.
You do, and you're proving it by every angle. But understand that this whole crazy world we live in, Dan, is changing so fast. The kids today want to see video. They all want video. They don't want just some person in a box, coming through a speaker in their AMC Gremlin. We've learned that here at KIRO. Okay.
All right.
So things are
you
changing.
guys have really advanced as well, haven't you?
We're really keeping up with things. All right, get him out of here. Dan Wood there, the worst yacht salesman in the world. Shut up. It all came from a letter. A bunch of guys sitting around reading a letter. They tried to find the the person or the kid. They could never find the kid, but then the thing continued. And I forget how many years it's been going on for.
I think you said about 20, right?
Yeah, it's really wild. I mean, the number of volunteers wrapping every single gift, they label them all, they know where they go, they've got it all organized. It's quite the complex machine to get all these out there. And then every van is then loaded with all the addresses, and then they know exactly which box goes to which kid. It's all the stuff.
I love that they have, it's like a competition even to volunteer.
Oh, yeah, you have to wrap a certain number of gifts and stuff like that.
And you got to register kind of months in advance. Like that's a sign of a good charity.
You want people to be competitive about being an elf.
That's right.
It's the Forgotten Children's Fund. There's an event. They have an auction coming up on the 3rd of December. In fact, it was that one that I did the auction for. I don't know how many, 3 or 4 years ago or something. And it was snowing that night. So I finished the auction, and I couldn't drive back. And this was when Sherry was staying at the Silver Cloud.
Oh, is that when you got in trouble?
I'm like, I'm not going to rent a room. I'm not getting a room. She goes, yeah, stay with me.
Sherry, scoot over.
So she just scooted over. And then Dory thought that was the weirdest thing. So then Dory talked about it for like 20 minutes. And then it became like a big brouhaha. And then poor Sherry's like, what the hell? What? It's like my brother. What are you talking about? She got all embarrassed.
So is that officially against the rules? Can't do that?
What rules?
I don't know.
Ask Nate. He seems like quite the callow fellow about all the rules.
Yeah, it's okay to do that.
Okay, thank you, Nate.
During the holiday season only.
Oh, that's right. Okay, thank you, Nate. Appreciate that. Here we come.
Seattle Sports has the update. Light volumes is our theme so far this afternoon. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett have both climbed a bit to 40 minutes. Northbound 405 has a little crowding through Bothell and Canyon Park, and that's it. North 5, though, we're seeing volumes pick up now between Northgate and Linwood. Everett to Marysville, you're looking great. 10 minutes. South 5 into Seattle is heavy from Northeast 45th in the U District through downtown. Further south, looks like we have something new blocking near Mid-Boeing Field. You got a backup starting at the Michigan Curve. Bellevue to Renton, 20 minutes. It's heavy from Southeast 8th and Bellevue down to Cold Creek Parkway. Seattle to Federal Way, you're pushing 40 minutes. And it's also 40 minutes down the stretch of the Valley Freeway from Renton all the way into Puyallup. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Perhaps while you were seated around the Thanksgiving Day table and you're looking at all your loved ones there and you think to yourself, gosh, I really love this. I'm so grateful for everything I've got. Maybe that was a quiet prayer you said to yourself or perhaps out loud, and you like to be able to have as many Thanksgivings as possible. Well, how do you go about doing that? Well, taking good care of yourself, right? But you are getting older, things start to happen, and eventually you might get some bad news about heart disease, diabetes, or cancer. And then you're like, gosh, I really, really wanted to have more and more Thanksgivings. Well, if you like to have a longer life, you've got to know when the big bad stuff like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer, and all the other stuff that starts to slow us down and take away our vitality, you've got to know when it's coming. You've got to be proactive. And that's where the doctors for more than 25 years at Longevity Medical Clinic have been doing that. You do a blood draw 4 times a year, and they go through it. It's extensive. And they look for early indicators of heart disease, diabetes, and cancer, and all the other stuff that slow us down. And then they either try to stop it or slow it down entirely or reverse it to give you a longer life. So if perhaps your Thanksgiving prayer was to have more Thanksgivings, why don't you take the free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Save the date, Wednesday, December 10th. Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse for the 37th Annual Holiday Magic, providing holiday gifts and year-round support for more than 6,500 kids in foster care statewide. Over the past 36 years of Holiday Magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state. Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse this year and share the joy of the holiday season. Wednesday, December 10th. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more.
What's your holiday tradition? It's G. Scott here. For me, it's gathering with loved ones around a meal that brings joy. For many families, that tradition feels out of reach. Next time you shop at Safeway, please donate to Nourishing Neighbors. Your gift provides groceries to families across Washington, giving them access to nutritious food and the dignity to shop like the rest of us and choose what's meaningful for their holiday table. Visit nourishingneighbors.com and donate at your Safeway checkout. That's nourishingneighbors.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
There is one real estate agent who's been helping KIRO listeners longer than anyone else, and that's Wes Jones with sellwithwes.com. Wes, you've helped KIRO listeners in good markets and more difficult ones. What do you think has been the secret to your success?
Thanks, Brandy. Experience has taught us that to outperform the market, we needed to do things differently from the status quo, that we needed to do more. Our exclusive system covers innovative marketing locally and internationally, leading to more eyeballs on your home, better listing prep for better showings, negotiation strategies that eliminate pesky buyer contingencies, and generate stronger offers. Through our exclusive client programs, our sellers enjoy an extraordinary marketing experience utilizing techniques a traditional agent cannot offer.
So if you want to sell your home faster, at a higher price, and with fewer contingencies, if you want more, visit sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com, a better way to sell your home.
You pledged your life to serve. You made sacrifices, lost loved ones. At VA, we don't see the falls you've taken. We see the 1,000 times you've stood back up. We embrace your uniqueness and won't trivialize your hardships. We can't promise to heal all wounds or wash away all trauma, but we do see a path forward. We see all veterans. We see you. Learn how treatment works and recovery is possible. Visit maketheconnection.net.
The Hawks get it done at home.
They do it in style with a 26-0 shellacking.
Improving to 9-3, staying with the small pack of teams atop the NFC.
It's intercepted, and this one goes to the house. Jones with a pick six.
Complete coverage at mynorthwest.com.
That was big for our defense. I feel like it's another level that we can reach. We're just worried about playing our style of ball, playing for each other.
And the station where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
The Pacific Northwest is the perfect backdrop for the holiday season. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law reminds us that the roadways don't always agree.
It's that combination of additional travel, changes in routine, and winter weather that make this the most dangerous time of the year to be behind the wheel.
Any safety tips to help commuters keep the holidays joyful?
The number one cause of accidents remains distracted driving, even during the holidays. So store that cell phone in a place that eliminates temptation. It's imperative we set the example for our teens. Also, be aware of abrupt changes in the weather and prepare for it. Sometimes it's as simple as allowing additional distance for following or stopping. Lastly, make sure your vehicle is properly maintained for winter.
That includes four-wheel drive and chains when required at the pass. Please follow these safety precautions from my good friends at Pendergast Law and keep you and your neighbors safe this holiday season.
Happy holidays from all of us at Pendergast Law.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. The White House now says an admiral did order a second strike on an alleged drug boat near Venezuela, killing survivors of the original strike. This happened a few months ago. CBS's Ed O'Keefe has more.
Confirmation, essentially, of what was originally a Washington Post report on Friday, that there had been this strike
on a vessel that killed most people on board except for 2. A second strike then killed them.
Some lawmakers are calling this a war crime. Washington Congressman Adam Smith is a ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee. He tells News Nation,
"We're not at war. What is the justification for using lethal force on boats allegedly carrying drugs thousands of miles away from America?"
White House Press Secretary says the admiral who ordered the strike was well within his authority. Lawmakers from both parties are calling for congressional reviews of military strikes against suspected drug boats. Winter storms in the Midwest causing big delays across the country, including here in Seattle. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
It's a bad weather holiday rush combination. More than a dozen flights out of SeaTac delayed Monday morning, a trickle-down effect after winter storms delayed more than 600 flights across the country. This traveler tells KIRO 7 TV it's still the best way to get from Seattle to Montana.
Taking the plane is the way to go, and even if the traffic is bad, it's still better than a 13-hour drive.
The busiest times at SeaTac between 2 and 5 p.m. and 9 to 11 at night. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Crews say they pulled nearly 2,300 gallons of fuel from a blueberry farm near Everett. That fuel leaking from BP's Olympic pipeline last month. Seattle Times reports the damaged section is now fixed, back in service as of Saturday. The leak cut off jet fuel to SeaTac for almost 2 weeks. Several mountains in the Pacific Northwest do not have enough snow to start the season. That's according to KIRO 7 TV. More from KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
Crystal Mountain had originally planned to open on November 28th, but it didn't happen, and no new opening date has been set there. Last year, Crystal opened on November 23rd. Mission Ridge in Wenatchee was also supposed to open on the 28th, but now opening day is tentatively set for December 5th, and the Snominette Snoqualmie has not set an opening date yet. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
And that takes us to 3:33, and we have Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Yeah, Aaron, we've got an easy commute so far this afternoon. Volumes are picking up as expected, but overall lighter than normal. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett have both climbed a bit to 45 minutes. 405, you've got scattered crowding between Kirkland and Canyon Park. North 5 is crowded from Northgate into Linwood, and this is a solid backup. Heading into Seattle, we're looking good. South 5 eventually jams up near Northeast 50th through downtown. Whatever was blocking South 5 and Mid-Boeing Field has cleared. Both lake bridges are clear. Bellevue to Renton up to 25 minutes. We've got heavy volumes from Southeast 8th and Bellevue down past Cold Creek Parkway. And if you're heading south down to County Line, South 5 slows from State Route 18 across the Puyallup River Bridge. The Port Townsend-Coopville Ferry Route, they're going to cancel a couple sailings tonight due to low tides. And those are coming up, the 5:15 out of Port Townsend and the 6 o'clock sailing out of Coopville. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And your forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Seeing some rainfall, mainly over the Olympic Peninsula, but now starting to move over Snohomish County and reaching the north end of Seattle as well. Mostly light rain, but could see some pockets of heavy rain at times. Right now, 46 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the John Curley Show. Thank you, one and all. 1-888-973-5476. Your texts are always welcome, Teeny. Oh, she's back there.
Hi.
Home Comfort Alliance, when it comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, homecomfortalliance.com. By the way, they had a big Black Friday sale. I think it's still going on. I got to get AC. We've got 75% off AC units. I need AC for the second part of the barn where we put all the drunk bachelors.
Well, it's Cyber Monday, so I would imagine.
Get on there.
Deals.
Let's see. I had something I wanted to do for Day in History, but Joe's like, no, let's do this one instead. So we'll see. We could have done Abraham Lincoln delivering the State of the Union address. Do the music for this thing?
Oh, yeah.
Like it's not like we're doing real radio. I'll wait.
You got that history music there, Wyatt?
Yeah, there we are. Yeah, welcome to the show. 1885, Dr. Pepper is served for the first time at a drugstore in Waco, Texas.
Oh.
You tell us what Joe wanted. Ford assembly line starts in 1913, 1934 Russian Revolution. Rosa Parks, 1955, jailed refusing to give up her seat. The Channel makes breakthrough connecting the UK to the rest of Europe, 1990.
Yes.
I'm going to go with Dr. Pepper. So Dr. Pepper was invented by this guy, what's his last name? Charles Addleton.
Dr. Charles Addleton.
I don't think he was a doctor.
He was.
Okay, he's working at this pharmacy there in Waco, and he liked the smell of the pharmacy. He liked the smell of the whole, the soda fountain stuff. So every time when he would get a break, he was always mixing different stuff together to try to come up with something. He finally came up with the formula, and then they had to come up with a name for it. It wasn't. They think that the name. This is never got confirmed, but apparently, Adelton sold the thing to Morrison. Morrison then needed a name for the soda because it was called Waco at first.
Yep.
I'll have a Waco. So then apparently Morrison named it after his father-in-law, Charles Pepper, Dr. Charles Pepper, because he was trying to impress Dr. Charles Pepper to allow him to marry Dr. Pepper's daughter.
Oh.
But then I did tons of research to find out that Morrison was already married.
Oh.
I don't know. No one knows how they came up with the name. It didn't become really, really a big hit until the World's Fair in St. Louis. And then it really gets cranking with the big marketing campaign. They put on there 10, 2, and 4. 10, 2, and 4 were on the cans. You know why?
No.
Because they found, through research, that people sort of get sleepy and need energy at 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 4 o'clock. So they put that on all the cans. So then people started buying 3 cans because they want lots of energy at 10, 2, and 4.
Did they ever add like narcotics like Coca-Cola did?
And they never had to do that.
Okay.
It was just the doctor had come up with. They did think, you know what are you going to do during the winter months? Nobody seems to want to buy Dr. Pepper during the winter months. I know. Let's sell hot Dr. Pepper.
Hi, I'm Dick Clark.
Hi, Dick.
You know when the weather is sunny and hot?
Yeah.
You and I really go for a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
Yes, we
the
do.
soft drink that goes so well with hot weather.
Yep.
Deliciously different.
Yeah.
When the weather's hot,
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper tastes great cold.
Got it.
And when the weather's cold, that's when Dr. Pepper tastes so great hot. Hi, Max.
Yeah, it didn't. Nobody liked it. Nobody wanted it. Nobody cared about it. Nobody wanted to drink hot Dr. Pepper. Their biggest failure, one of their ones that came into advertising, was they decided they were going to come up with a diet Dr. Pepper, but men don't like Diet Coke, Diet Colas, so they decided they'd come up with a diet Dr. Pepper, but then basically tell...
Hey, ladies, this movie's not for you! And neither is Dr. Pepper 10. 23 flavors from 10 manly calories. It's what guys want. Like this. Catchphrase.
Dr. Pepper 10. It's not for women.
Not for women. People are like, that was a bad idea.
Yeah, terrible idea.
That one failed miserably for them. And then Joe likes the fact that Woodrow Wilson Foote,
The man who really put Dr. Pepper on the global soft drink map was
you did more research on this stupid story than anything else we have in the entire show.
Accurate.
Woodrow Wilson Foots Clements. People started calling him Foots in high school because he had weirdly shaped toes.
Okay.
Foots started as a Dr. Pepper delivery truck driver in 1935 when he was 21 years old. He noticed soft drink buyers open the door of soda coolers with their left hand and grab soda bottles with their right hand. So he made sure to stock all of the Dr. Pepper on the right-hand side. Sales increased, and through the years, Foots was promoted to every job in the company until he was made CEO and chairman of the board. From 1968 to 1967, Foots increased Dr. Pepper's sales from $42 million to $227 million. Foots was part of Dr. Pepper for 60 years until he retired in 1995. Nowadays, Dr. Pepper is the 4th highest selling soda.
Okay, he seems overly excited about Dr. Pepper sales.
I love a good
my
nickname.
favorite of the cola wars, my favorite was in 1993 or something like that. They're going to do Crystal Pepsi.
Oh, yeah.
So Coca-Cola, this guy that was in charge of marketing for Coke, did some research and found out that people were not quite aware of what Crystal Pepsi was. They didn't know if it was diet or not. They knew it was clear. So he said, because Coke was like, well, we better come up with something that's going to compete against it. And he said, no. We don't want to compete against it. We just want to take advantage of the marketplace. The marketplace is not quite sure, although Pepsi had put about $474 million behind it. They're not sure what it is. So Sergio Zeman, who is in charge of marketing, he says, let's do this. Let's do Tab Clear. It'll suck. Nobody wants it. But what we're going to do is we're going to create this Tab Clear, and we're going to go to every single one of the stores that have Crystal Pepsi, and all I'm going to do is take all of our Tab Clear and stick it on the shelf directly beside Pepsi Clear or Crystal Pepsi. And what'll happen is the person will go, oh, I want to try that new Pepsi. And as they open up the cabinet, open up the refrigerator, they'll see Tab, right? Tab Clear right next to it. And they'll be like, oh, crap. Wait a minute. So this Crystal Pepsi must be diet because the Tab is diet and it's clear as well. So it's right next to Pepsi. So that must be that's probably a diet drink. And within 6 months, it was gone. So they invented this Tab Clear just to destroy.
To shelf shame.
Absolutely. And all they needed to do was just make sure, and he went around and make sure that everybody had it right next to whatever Pepsi's product was.
That sounds like an obscene amount of work.
Well, they had to do something because they thought it was going to cut into the market share. If people liked it and it was clear, then they would need to come up with a clear Coke. So they thought, let's just try to, get rid of it right away. What's wrong with that?
I mean, you gotta.
Isn't that brilliant?
You gotta manufacture the product.
Yes.
Then you gotta have somebody go into every store in the
They go in the stores
world.
anyway, Joe. They go in the stores anyway. But what they needed to do was, rather than coming up with, they thought, we don't want this clear Pepsi thing, Crystal Pepsi, to start to eat into the market share. They'll start to eat into the market share, and then Coke has to try to fight back to get that. They said, let's just get rid of this one other possible product that could hurt our overall sales. So they did it by putting a stinky soda right next to it, and then they took advantage of the market, not understanding what Crystal Pepsi was supposed to be.
Guilt by association.
Absolutely. Smart stuff. And also it got us off having to talk about Dr. Pepper.
You mentioned the St. Louis World's Fair, 1904, I believe.
Yeah.
That's when Dr. Pepper was introduced to the public. Also, at that same World's Fair, the hamburger was invented.
Wow.
Or marketed.
Somebody did some research over the weekend, and you just can't wait to share it.
And the ice cream cone.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
How about that?
Well, isn't that something?
Is that the waffle cone as well? Or is that different?
Nate, don't get him started.
Sure.
Just don't get him started. All right, here's Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
All right. South 5 through Seattle. You're heavy from northeast 45th in the U District through downtown. Not a big backup at all. In fact, Linwood to Seattle is only a 20-minute drive. Linwood to Bellevue also at 20 minutes. You're pretty much all clear till you hit Bellevue. And then South 405 slows at 520 down 112th, and Newcastle gets thick right around Main Street there in mid-Bellevue. North 5 into Seattle slows briefly in the downtown, starting at the West Seattle Bridge. Seattle to Federal Way is at a half hour. Got a little slowing between Interurban Avenue and 405, and then another backup between South 188th and State Route 516. Down in South Hill, westbound 512 is heavy from Meridian out near Canyon Road around the corner. Just volumes picking up here. And both directions of Meridian are heavy between South Hill Mall and Target down there by 160th, about 3 to 4 miles of scattered backups here. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I can tell you right now, one of the best moves I've ever made was getting RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. I went to K2 Vision and met Dr. Kopstein there because I kept hearing these commercials on KIRO, as a matter of fact. If you're over the age of 50, you don't want to wear contacts or readers or long-distance glasses. If you don't want any of that, you're concerned about cataracts, you should look into K2 Vision RLE. So I did. I go and I meet Dr. Kopstein. I ask him the slightly uncomfortable question, how many of these have you done? He's like, I don't know, 100,000. He said, listen, I'm not going to do this unless it's going to have a great result. If it's not going to have a great result for you, I'm not going to do it. So he looks at both my eyes. He goes, man, your eyes are in bad shape. I said, I know. That's why I'm here. So I sign up, 5 minutes in one eye, 5 on the other. I go back in the next day. I think it was the next day. And I have 20/20 vision. And this was a while ago. I still have 20/20 vision. I don't wear glasses anymore. And I used to have a whole drawer full of glasses. Once to see at night, and then once looking and reading glasses, then slightly further away. It was a mess. So when I got K2 Vision RLE, and I don't have to wear glasses, no more contacts, no more concerns for cataracts as well, the best move. If you want to find out more, you can register at k2visionrle.com. They got a free webinar coming up on Thursday. That's k2visionrle.com. I'll tell you more about it later.
The Hawks get it done at home.
They do it in style with a 26-0 shellacking.
Improving to 9-3, staying with the small pack of teams atop the NFC.
It's intercepted, and this one goes to the house. Jones with a pick six.
Complete coverage at mynorthwest.com.
That was big for our defense. I feel like it's another level that we can reach. We're just worried about playing our style ball, playing for each other.
And the station where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Hey, get in. What? Who are you? I'm future you. Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Yeah. Mia, our doctor figured it out. She said it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
AAA asked me if I would change my name from Sir Mix-a-Lot to Sir Mix-a-Lot. I said, why would I do that? They said, you're more than just a rapper. You're a car collector. You're a businessman. You're an inventor. Just like AAA is more than just towing. They have awesome travel advisors and insurance agents. And they got 3 A's in their name. Maybe I should change my name. Give me 3 A's. Mix, A, mix, A. When I say mix, give me 3 A's. Mix, A.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Coolers leaking and rocks are moving and movers creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Care Partners Senior Living is growing. Amanda here. We are very excited to introduce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, and North Creek Bothell, bringing compassionate, quality care at an affordable price, closer to more of you. Visit carepartnersliving.com today.
Paid political announcement.
More than half of short-term rentals across Washington are booked by Washingtonians. Families traveling for their children's tournaments and games. Firefighters fighting wildfires. Traveling nurses providing critical care. Every day, short-term rentals are helping make travel more affordable. Legislators in Olympia are considering increasing taxes on short-term rentals. But with the cost of everything going up, we can't take another price increase. Keep travel affordable for us. Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive host pack.
Such pressure to have a good Thanksgiving. Because I knew people the next day, how was your Thanksgiving? Did you have a good Thanksgiving? Did you have a good Thanksgiving? It is my favorite holiday.
What?
Of all the holidays. Yeah. because I so appreciate the general sentiment behind it, which is gratitude. Gratitude. That's the best. Absolutely the best. I was grateful for the fact that somehow we were able to find a meat thermometer.
Did you find a turkey store, too?
Yeah, we did find a turkey store. We found a meat thermometer, which I'd never opened before. It was in a package in the back of the silverware drawer. And because I put the turkey in, and such pressure on me. Everyone's like, hey, should I start the mashed potatoes? Just start the mashed potatoes. I don't care. Just focusing on the turkey. I put it in at 3 o'clock, and then I looked online. It's like 3.5 hours to cook it. And people are like, when's the turkey coming? Is it turkey? Just shut you. Be grateful. And I'm reading. They're like, I think it's ready. Nope, not ready yet. I look online. Internal temperature of the turkey should be 170. So I go through the junk drawer, and I find that, there's a thermometer. And I take it, and I stick it in there.
Wait, how long has it been at this point?
3 hours and 15 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
About 6:15?
Yeah, and the Butterball hotline said, 3 hours and 15 or 20 minutes. So I stick the thermometer in there. It was 225 degrees. The bird was like, just get me out of here. I don't care. Make sure the stuffing doesn't have any salmonella. Don't worry. There's no fear that this thing is going to have any juices that have not been boiled away. Took it out, and it had really gotten small. It had really gotten small. And then I realized there's not enough turkey for everybody. So I only took like 2 little pieces, but I made sure everybody else had some. Such pressure.
Well, but maybe it was a good thing because you brought the turkey in on Thursday.
I carried
Wednesday.
it around.
Yeah, you were kind of like hugging it.
Swinging it around.
Yeah, left it on the floor by the heater.
And then Aaron kept telling me I'm going to get sick from it.
So good.
Anyway, it worked out fine. It was nice. Mother-in-law, Athena, everybody knows her, our reporter there in Utah, and Sammy, Nick's daughter, and then Rye, who said, I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to be pretty much checked out of Thanksgiving. I just need to watch football. So he sat on the couch and watched 4 football games, all 4. Nice. Said little or nothing the entire time.
How did the turkey taste?
It like a turkey, but it was fine. It was just, again, the pressure of having to be in charge of the turkey was just too much for me. I caved under it. It's funny because Rye said, the only thermometer we have, Dad, is the one out there connected to the Traeger grill. I said, how do you know it's out there? He goes, remember that time I spent the night here and I woke up and I said I had a fever? And then you took me out there and you stuck that thermometer in my mouth and I stood out there in the back porch and you watched it go up and it was freezing outside. I said, it worked, didn't it? He goes, yeah. And I had like a fever, like 101 or 102, because according to the thermometer that you normally stick in the meat on part of the Traeger. So I was thinking, do we have to roll the Traeger grill into the house and then somehow adjust it in such a way that I can then force that thing into the turkey because I wasn't prepared for the internal temperature because that's part of the problem.
You could have done that. I've seen your daughter.
I know, but I again, somebody else can do it next year. Too much pressure.
You did great.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah. Thank you. Boy, I look like I just rolled out of bed, don't I? What the heck's going on? Huh? And I'm growing the beard out for Santa Claus.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's...
Thank you. All right, let's go over to Nate, who looks always impeccable. Nathan, checking traffic.
Thank
Nathan?
you. Seattle to Everett, up to a 55-minute drive. It's slow from the U District through north of Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, also 55 minutes. Quickly scattered backups that form between Kirkland and Canyon Park. Everett to Marysville, 15 minutes. It's slow from the Boeing Freeway to Highway 2. You catch a nice break, and then another backup from the Union Slough into Marysville. But you're at freeway speeds through most of this. South 5 heading into Seattle, thick from the U District at Northeast 45th through downtown. Linwood to Seattle, still just a 20-minute drive. And down in South Hill, we're seeing volumes pick up on westbound 512 between Meridian and Canyon Road, and again south of South Hill Mall for about 3 to 4 miles. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nathan. You know what? There is such organization at the barn right now in Cle Elum because Closets by Design came out. And Nick kept bothering me about the fact that the garage was a mess. We needed to get that organized, and it wouldn't be nice. Wouldn't it also be nice to have an organized master bedroom closet and then the other closet as well? And then something to do with all the towels downstairs in the laundry room. So when the nice lady from Closets by Design came down and spent some time with us, she had no idea that Nick had big, big plans. But it was really interesting to see because Closets by Design, these people are experts. They know exactly what they're doing. They can look at the space and they've got ideas that you have not come up with yet. And And that's what happened. This gal from Closets by Design completely changed our entire, plan of how we wanted to organize, and they customized this thing. And I thought, oh my God, it's going to be so expensive. But Closets by Design, they're locally owned. They've been around for 22 years. They're family run. They're going to give you a big discount. There's 40% off, plus an additional 15% off, and 18 months financing and free installation. Get in touch with them, have them come out and give you a free consultation. 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's closetsbydesign.com.
Seattle's morning news.
Hi, I'm Charlie Hargan.
And I'm Amanda Factor.
Lawful boat strike or war crime?
New York Times investigative reporter David Farenthold has the latest on a bipartisan call for answers.
The human and financial cost of keeping the U.S. and its allies safe.
We're going to chat with the writer and co-director of the new documentary, The True Cost of Defense.
Join us for all the day's news, traffic, and weather.
That's tomorrow morning, 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home. Thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
This year, make comfort the first gift during the Black Friday sale at Home Comfort Alliance. Through December 1st, call to get savings up to 75% off furnaces, air conditioners, backup generators, EV chargers, water heaters, and more. If your system's over 12 years old, upgrade now before it breaks and save. And remember to schedule your consultation before December 1st and save up to 75% and take 18 months to pay off 0% financing OAC. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com today.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct Access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
The G and Ursula Show.
There's two types of people. One's that use a washcloth. The other are bare hand bandits.
Hate to break it to you, but
Ursula, you a bare hand bandit?
Weekdays 9 to noon. Watch live on YouTube.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Get a quote today at Progressive.com.
Join in on the conversation by sending a text to 888-973-5476. That's 888-973-KIRO. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
Follow-up strike on alleged Venezuelan drug boat.
It was the head of U.S. Special Operations Command who ordered it.
Why an MRI for President Trump?
This level of detailed assessment is standard for an executive physical at President Trump's age.
the after-holiday trek home.
If you're traveling, check your flight status right up until boarding.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition. I'm Jennifer Kuiper. We're learning new details about a follow-up strike on an alleged drug boat in the waters off Venezuela. CBS's Stacey Lynn.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt defended the second strike on the suspected drug boat on September 2nd.
The strike was conducted in international waters and in accordance with the law of armed conflict.
She said Secretary Hegseth authorized the head of U.S. Special Operations Command to conduct the strike.
Admiral Bradley worked well within his authority and the law, directing the engagement to ensure the boat was destroyed and the threat to the United States of America was eliminated.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, the White House.
CBS's Ed O'Keefe says the White House has released a letter from President Trump's doctor about why he received an MRI recently.
Because men in his age group benefit from a thorough evaluation of cardiovascular and abdominal health. The purpose of this imaging is preventative.
A rough trip home for some after the holiday. Snow is falling again in Chicago with a ground delay at O'Hare Airport, where CBS's Usher Qureshi is.
In parts of the Midwest and Great Lakes, plow crews were trying to stay ahead of icy patches and blowing snow. And now another winter storm is moving out of the plains, aiming for the Midwest tonight and the Northeast throughout Tuesday.
There are over 490 cancellations in the U.S. and nearly 7,000 delays, according to FlightAware. Emails sent by a caseworker indicate the suspect in last week's shooting of two National Guard personnel in Washington was struggling with mental illness. Authorities are looking into that and whether there are signs of radicalization. West Virginia Guard member Sarah Beckstrom died of her injuries, and Governor Patrick Morrisey says U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf remains in serious condition.
The family's going through a very difficult situation right now as Andrew fights to survive.
Luigi Mangione pleads not guilty to both state and federal charges for the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Today's hearing was on the state charges. CBS's Anna Schechter says the defense wants key evidence thrown out, saying proper procedures were not followed in protecting their clients' rights.
Inside the courtroom, they played the video of the shooting on that surveillance camera. They're also playing surveillance video from inside the McDonald's. So we're sort of seeing what exactly happened during those first few minutes that are at issue here today.
U.S. stocks fall as Bitcoin tumbles. Now this.
Check off the wish list with instant savings and free battery offers on select Steel tools. Shop online at steelusa.com or in-store.
Coming up, a fight at a local high school prompts a lockdown. The details after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
Well, air volumes are picking up as we approach the 5 o'clock peak, but now we have rain showers scattered across the map, and that makes those roads a little slippery. Overall, though, it looks good out there with no surprises. Seattle to Everett up to 55 minutes. We're slow from the Ship Canal Bridge now through North Linwood. Bellevue to Everett just crossed the 1 hour mark. You're solid from Kirkland into Canyon Park, and then you'll jam up again at the Alderwood interchange. Linwood to Seattle, we're up to 25 minutes. You're slow at Ravenna Boulevard in the U District down to the West Seattle Bridge. Bellevue to Renton, plan on a half hour. It's thick from 520 to Coal Creek Parkway. Down at the county line, both directions of I-5 are now heavy between State Route 18 and Fife. And all three of our passes, Stevens, Snoqualmie, and White passes, are all looking good with no restrictions. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granello. Deputies today took 3 people into custody after a fight outside Burion's Highline High School. Brandon Hull with the King County Sheriff's Office says this all started around 1 o'clock this afternoon.
We got reports there was somebody on campus with a gun, and so the school went into lockdown.
She tells us one student was assaulted, apparently pistol whipped. Deputies lifted that lockdown at around 2:30 after searching the school room by room. 4 teenagers were set to make their first court appearance today after police say they stole an SUV and opened fire on officers during a high-speed chase in Seattle.
Well, obviously, anytime where there's gunfire exchange, there's very serious injury or death that can occur. We're very thankful that none of that happened.
With Seattle police talking to KIRO 7 TV, we get more from KIRO News Radio's Tom Brock.
A Dodge Durango reportedly driven erratically on North Aurora Saturday night was later spotted by police near Boeing Field. The driver headed south on I-5 with officers in pursuit. That's when somebody in the Durango fired shots at one officer and hit another nearby car with the gunfire. Tom Brock, KIRO News Radio.
Police are still looking for 2 more teen suspects. SPD also investigating a deadly shooting today in the Chinatown International District. This happened just before 8 this morning at a hookah lounge near Rainer Avenue South and South King Streets. Police say some sort of fight led up to that gunfire, striking and killing the victim, a man in his 30s. A new video game ad features one of the toughest group of defensive players in NFL history. KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch explains.
In the video game Ready or Not, players take on the roles of a SWAT team. In a new ad,
The Legion of Boom is dominant.
members of the Seahawks Super Bowl winning secondary, like Richard Sherman and Cam Chancellor, are suited up as SWAT officers and running actual drills.
You have to move as a team.
Ready? We ain't got no speech. We not getting no hype up speech.
Then they team up to play the video game. No word on how well the gamers did. But it sounded like fun. Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
And your weather update now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors, looking at mostly cloudy skies and some light rain starting to fall across mainly the North Sound right now, and showers also over the Olympic Peninsula. Right now, 45 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Have fun, you knucklehead. There you go. That's true. Have fun, you knuckleheads, on the John Curley Show. All right, here we go. Let's. Oh, we want to keep Mr. Walsh waiting. Got me here. I'm back out there. Joe says he's got a new AI walk-on song for Jim Walsh.
Yes, sir.
Represented for the 19th.
In a land painted blue, he stakes his claim.
All right.
For parents and reason, he carries the flame.
Nice. Wow.
Through the valleys and hills, his voice rings true.
Gonna get to his last name.
Jim Walsh, the chairman, he's coming for you.
Wow. Look at that, huh? How about that?
I don't know, John. It's a little forlorn.
It is.
I'd like something more upbeat.
I know.
Okay.
Thank you for
we
that.
can do that.
We can do that. I could tell that you wanted to come on because I got this text message at 6 o'clock in the morning. This is I don't know what else you expect from a socialist, Sean Scott, representing the 43rd. He's got big plans. He wants to make sure that everybody pays more taxes. He wants to tax the rich.
Taxing the rich is a very, very popular idea. Washington State faced a $16 billion, B as in Bill Gates, budgetary shortfall in the most recent budgetary session. And coming up in the January 2026 legislative session, we're going to be facing another $2 billion budgetary shortfall. So we're going to have an opportunity to...
That's billion with a B, like Bill Gates.
...do the right thing by working people in this state.
Oh, yeah.
By doing everything from closing corporate loopholes to implementing a wealth tax to ending huge tax breaks for data centers in Washington State. And if we take that course of action, which I'm going to do everything in my power as a representative from the 43rd to make sure that we do, we're going to end up with a budget that I think more clearly reflects the values of working and everyday people in our state.
All right. Okay, whatever. All right. So, Walsh, this thing's coming up that you guys have a chance to talk about this. Does it actually have a momentum? Explain where all the taxes are supposed to hit with this idea from our socialist friend.
Yeah. You know, I heard there's a sequel to Spinal Tap coming out.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the great lines in the original Spinal Tap is there's a thin line between clever and stupid. I love Spinal Tap, John.
Yes, I know.
I'm sorry. What was your question? Oh, yes, this tax idea. This is DOA. It's based partly on another dumb bill that was filed last year, and they're going to increase the dumbness of this proposal, I guess. The idea is they want to do a payroll excise tax. And this is just our friend, Representative Scott, and apparently Senator Saldana has also lent her support to this idea. And there may be others, but I don't think a lot of others. What they're doing is they're trying to make a state income tax. And they're using well, I don't know if it's clever or stupid, but whatever. Language around that thin line from the state Supreme Court a few years ago, which called our state's capital gains tax an excise tax,
Right.
not an income tax, which 49 other states consider a capital gains tax, and the IRS considers the capital gains tax income tax. But here in Washington, because we're special, it's an excise tax, not an income tax. So these special legislators have taken that language from the state Supreme Court and applied it to payroll tax, calling it an excise tax. But it's all blarney. It's all rhetoric. This is or would be a state income tax. And we just passed into law a couple years ago now, Initiative 2111, which makes it clear, that's now our law, it's law in the state, that income taxes are against the law. There will be no tax based on income in the state of Washington. And they can play games and say, well, a payroll excise tax is not paid for by the worker, it's paid for by the employer. That's blarney, it's paid for by the worker. And it's just one more insult. It's one more reason that, as Brad Smith, the head guy over at Microsoft, said, they're looking at moving even to Vancouver, British Columbia, because if you can believe it, Canada's tax situation is better than Washington's.
But Jim, you started this whole thing with the idea that this thing is dead on arrival. I mean, is it really dead on arrival? I mean, we don't even need to have you on.
It's just dangerous enough. And I think what it is it's cover for other bad ideas for taxes they want to raise. What Scott said in that little snippet you played about how there's a crisis. Oh my God, there's a crisis. There's a crisis. We need more taxes because there's a crisis. Someone else is going to fill that spot. I mean, this idea probably won't be it. But another tax and spend leftist in Olympia, the state senator Noelle Frame, who by the way is kind of personally charming, but her ideas are terrible.
Okay.
She wants to do the wealth tax, which is the tax on unrealized capital gains. So you own an investment piece of property, a rental house or something. Even if you don't sell it, you're going to owe more tax on it because on paper it's worth more than you paid for it. And currently you got to pay taxes in state if you sell it. But this wealth tax would say you got to pay taxes on it even if you don't sell it. And the same applies to any money you got in the stock market or a certificate of deposit or whatever you might have your money.
Yeah, but Jim, that thing's not going to go anywhere because to administer that, to actually have to keep track of that sort of stuff is a nightmare for anyone. The cost of trying to get that money, and people would just simply move around. The thing, I don't know if they understand. There's a study that was done out at Stanford, did this study for a 30-year longitudinal study. A 1% increase in corporate tax had no effect on pass-through companies, but C corporations closed at 4%. But then when they looked at other corporations, that a 1% tax causes a 1 to 7% of those companies to leave the state and take the jobs with them. All of this sort of idea, we'll just tax the rich and they'll just stand there and let us, have our way with them. It doesn't hold true because businesses will leave. Businesses are leaving the state of Washington. They're going to Idaho and they're going to Utah. And they leave because the taxes are too high and they don't like the fact that people say, well, you don't deserve the money that you have, or it's you're excise or excessive. I like that. That's the stuff that they'd be talking about here in Seattle. Excessive, anything over $1 million is excessive. So therefore, you're a prime target to go get that money because the state so desperately needs it. So if this thing's dead on arrival, I won't have to worry about that. So I want to change the subject to the initiative process. I was in Cle Elum yesterday, of course, and I was there in Safeway, went by there, and the guy out front was getting signatures, and I said, how's it going? Is anybody bothering you? And he said to me, about a third of the people that are coming, this is in Cle Elum, the Clum, Jim. About a third of the people that are coming up are causing him problems, yelling and screaming and distracting people that want to sign. That's in Cle Elum. So is there a group of people that are putting up the locations where these signature gatherers are and then organizing to have activists go there and stop people from exercising their First Amendment right? Is that happening?
Oh, you bet they are. Yeah, it's a pop-up pack set up by a couple of, mostly by the Washington Education Association, but there are other groups involved in it. And so they created a PAC specifically to oppose the three initiatives that are out gathering signatures right now. And they're really scared because all three of them are popular. And so they're getting very aggressive, and they're coordinating information about where the signature gatherers are, and they're sending people there to harass them. They don't really expect to discourage the signature gatherers, the volunteers, or even some who might be getting paid. But what they're trying to do is scare other people away. If they cause a big scene, then nobody will sign the initiative. And the three initiatives that are out, of course, are Restore the Parents' Bill of Rights, which got about 3/4 gutted in the last session in Olympia. No boys and girls sports, protect girls sports in Washington, and then the Voter ID Initiative. And I thought the Voter ID Initiative was going to be the one that attracted all the crazies and the hate and the opposition, but it's not. It's the No Boys and Girls Sports is the one that seems to have set the far left all akimbo, and they're harassing people. It's not funny. I mean, in some cases, they're actually taking swings at the people gathering signatures. Usually, they're not. Usually, they try to grab the petitions and like rip them up, or a couple of them have this sticky blue ink and they throw the ink on the petitions so you can't read them. But I mean, they're getting kind of salty. They're getting salty and assaulty.
Yes. So at this point, with Brian Hayward's action with this, the money he's spending on these two initiatives to throw these back into Olympia, does he have, the last number I saw was about 2 months ago, I think he had 45 or 50-some%. He needed, I don't know how many signatures altogether. Will he hit the deadline on these things?
The last count on the one getting, short answer, yeah, I think so. I don't think anybody's there yet, but the last month, which we're in, December's the last month, you can gather signatures on these, is always the busiest, and you start getting them back from people who have them, and the numbers mount up. The No Boys and Girls Sports, I believe, is in first position, closest to qualified. Restoring Parents' Bill of Rights is next, and Voter ID is third. All of them are over halfway. I think No Boys and Girls Sports is like 3/4 or better. So they're getting there. And if you follow the history of how the signature gathering works, it's really back-ended. So I would say all three of them are on track to qualify. The No Boys and Girls Sports is out in front of the other two.
I saw that the WEA, the teachers union, they've decided their attack against boys and girls sports is that who among us here could possibly identify gender and sex? And really, it's just it's not fair to say, well, gametes and biology and chromosomes. I mean, that's just all really. Can we really define gender? Is it possible to possibly define gender? Nobody really can. I mean, this argument is just like crazy town stuff, but that's what they're trying to push out there, that it's not fair, and now nobody really knows, and the doctor just takes a guess, and you could be anything you want to be, and there's a million different genders and everything. So that seems to be their move on it. So, Jim, just take everybody through school for one moment. Okay, the initiatives make it gets to Olympia. What stops them from doing the same thing they did before with, say, the Parents' Bill of Rights or the boys and girls sports? What's the action that will actually make these things become law?
Well, all three of them are initiatives to the legislature. So you can do an initiative either to the legislature first, and then to the people if the legislature doesn't pass it into law, or you can do an initiative that goes straight to the people. All three of these are designed as initiatives to the legislature. So first, if they qualify and they get enough signatures, they go to the legislature this upcoming short session starting January, and the legislature can either pass them into law, which is what they did with the Parents' Bill of Rights the first time around, or they can ignore them, or they can pass an alternate version of it. But whatever they do, if they don't pass it into law, it goes to the people for a vote at the next general election. So that would be the general election November 2026, next year. And there, a simple majority vote of the people passes the initiative into law. So if the speaker in Olympia, Lori Jenkins, decides to vote these into law, they become law and they don't go to the people. That's what she did with the original Parents' Bill of Rights, because they were afraid if it went on the November ballot, it was going to turn out conservative voters and tilt some of the legislative and congressional races toward the conservatives. So they were tactical. I guess they were clever again. And they passed it into law, figuring they'd just wait a year and then gut it or mess with it. And that's kind of what they did. They could try to do that again, and maybe would. But at some point, that becomes ridiculous if they see that when they do that thing, where they pass an initiative they don't like into law, then try to gut it a year or two later, we'll just keep coming back with restoration initiatives to put the policy back again. Then I think they're going to see that's kind of a foolish strategy. While it might be a good short-end tactic, it's a dumb long-term strategy. So we'll see.
Well,
again, clever and stupid.
Right, but Jim, the money doesn't grow on trees unless you are a legislator in Olympia and you think that the trees are owned by the rich people. Certainly, at some point, Brian Hayward's not going to stop writing. He's going to stop writing checks for these things. So if they pass it into law like they did before, and then they get in there and they monkey around with it and change it all up, and the parents are not number one caring for the child, but the school and the government steps in between the parents. Eventually, Hayward's going to I'm not going to do this again. Third time, I'm not going to continue to spend the money to get all these signatures together in order to do this initiative. They may just try to wind him down and grind him down so he stops writing checks for this stuff. And then you will have the state of Washington determining what the parent is allowed to know about the child. What the changes that you guys want to make, very, very simple. Like, for instance, the parent that school must tell the parent within 10 days what's being taught in that class. The parent must be told immediately. If the child comes home and has been sexually assaulted or in some way injured, they don't have 48 hours. They have to tell the parent immediately. And also, the parent can opt the child out of a bunch of stuff. And also, the parent has the right to know the mental condition and the health of the child. That can't be held and kept back from the parent. I mean, this is such simple things that one would believe that anybody would agree with. But in the state of Washington, the folks that didn't want the Parents' Bill of Rights to become law thought the state is in first position with the child and putting the parent in second or third position. When I explained that to my dear mother-in-law over the weekend, and she's the liberal, Jim, she said, I can't understand why they would do that. And I said, I don't, Athena, I can't explain it either.
Yeah, it's crazy. And when you talk to people about it, a lot of times liberals often, sometimes even moderates, they don't believe it's true. I mean, they'll tell me that's not right. That's not what the law says. Well, but it is what the law says.
Yeah.
Why do they do it, John? They do it because there is the potential for a great public medicine, public health machine set up where the government would set clinics at schools and administer mental health services and physical health services to children under the Apple Care Medicaid banner, roughly speaking, without parental consent or notification. That's the sort of end game here. It's a money-making scheme. Right. And we, they don't care that they're trampling parental rights because it's a step toward setting up these state government funded, Apple Health funded health clinics at schools.
Well, we bury the headline. There's the story. Follow the money on this sort of stuff. Mr. Walsh, I've got to let you go because Nate has to do traffic so we can continue to pay really high gas prices, okay?
We're working on that too, John.
Oh, you better Walsh,
sooner or
get
later.
something done this year. You understand? 2026 is the year Jim Walsh just is like a roaring lion. All right? All right?
I will roar, John. I will roar.
There he goes.
He's coming for you.
Boom. All right, Nate, checking traffic. Nathan.
All right, South Hill, we now have confirmation on this collision, the westbound 512 at Canyon Road, and you're backed up bumper to bumper approaching South Meridian. Eastbound 512 slows from I-5 over to Canyon Road. Tacoma to Olympia is a nice 40-minute commute this afternoon. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeways at 45 minutes. Now, both directions of 167 are heavy through Pacific. Seattle to Everett, 1 hour. You're slow from the Ship Canal Bridge through Linwood. Bellevue to Everett has climbed an hour 10. It's solid now from Kirkland into Alderwood. Linwood to Seattle has spiked a 35-minute commute. Little backup forming there in Linwood, but it is now packed from Lake City Way to the West Seattle Bridge. Bellevue to Renton, give yourself a half hour with a thick backup from 520 down to Coal Creek Parkway. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I know it's not that big of a deal for everybody else out there, but for me, Saturday was huge. I actually went for a run. I have not run in 7 years. I had a really nice pair of running shoes just sort of sitting there still in the box, and I went for a run because the first thing I did was to go to see Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. You see, I was staring down the barrel of a hip replacement, and when I went there to see Dr. Wagner to talk about stem cell procedures, and he told me he had done 20,000 of these, he had already looked at my MRI and looked at my x-ray ahead of time before I went in, and he said, yeah, you'd be a good candidate for this. What do you think? I said, listen, if I can start running again, if I can start riding my bike without pain, my hip is just the worst. He said, let's do it. So 90 minutes in and out of the office. I actually did the show that afternoon. And I tell you something, this has been like 8 weeks now. I feel great. My first run in 7 years. So if you've got a bad shoulder, elbow, knee, wrist, whatever it is, and you're considering surgery because it's really bad, don't do that yet. Go see Dr. Mark Wagner and find out if stem cell procedure is going to be right for you. Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. That's Dr. Mark Wagner, MD.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now the company's changed, or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300, 206-656-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Comcast Business is celebrating the holidays by giving your business the $1,000 holiday bonus when you switch to a gig speed internet package. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 12, the new laptop for the office holiday hero. Or possibility number 108, smart speakers to deck those hallways. Or possibility number 192, new equipment for the new year. Or possibility number 555, Bluetooth holiday lights for office decor. Switch to Comcast Business, designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect, plus advanced cybersecurity, and now get the $1,000 holiday bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 12/14/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Requires qualifying gig package. Other restrictions apply.
Welcome to Cricket Wireless. Santa?
I've got to get Mrs. Claus a gift or I'm in a whole lot of trouble.
How about a single unlimited line? Only $35, plus a free Moto G 5G.
Dude, you're a lifesaver. Here, take a present.
Says it's for Timmy in Des Moines.
Never heard of him.
Join Cricket Nation and get a single line for $35 per month, plus a free Moto G 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Cricket may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Requires activation of new line on select unlimited plan or higher. Pay $40 first month. New lines only. First month service charge. Tax to sale fees. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See cricketwireless.com for details.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X, outsmart the elements.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultrafine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Stacy, are you wearing yoga pants to go shopping?
Oh, we're not going out shopping. We're staying in with JTV.
I love jewelry television. Their pearls, their lab-grown diamond jewelry.
Oh, hello. What about their Italian gold and moissanite fire?
Okay, but what about the guys on my holiday list?
Relax. JTV has gifts galore, even for men, like watches and sunglasses.
Watch JTV live and on streaming or shop JTV.com for up to 80% off select items.
Ready to shop?
Yes, but can I borrow a pair of sweats?
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. The White House today defended a controversial U.S. military strike near Venezuela. CBS's Stacey Lynn says it was a second follow-up strike on an alleged drug boat back in September.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said Secretary Hegseth authorized Admiral Bradley to conduct the kinetic strikes, and she said Bradley worked well within his authority and the law, directing the engagement to ensure the boat was destroyed and the threat to the United States of America was eliminated.
Now, lawmakers from both parties say they want a congressional review of these strikes. Washington Congressman Adam Smith is a ranking member on the House Armed Services Committee.
There are continuing questions about the legality of these strikes.
Some lawmakers saying that follow-up strike back in September may constitute a war crime. New enrollment numbers at the University of Washington show an 8-year low among international students. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi has more on that.
In the fall of 2025 quarter, 7,439 students were enrolled at UW's Seattle campus with international visas, according to the Times. That's 7% fewer than a year ago and nearly 10% less than in 2022, when the international student population was at its peak. Now, this year's drop was actually smaller than what the university was expecting, given President Trump's crackdown on immigration and higher education. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
Costco joins a list of businesses suing the Trump administration over global tariffs. Bloomberg reports the companies are aiming to secure refunds if the Supreme Court strikes down the president's use of emergency powers to impose those levies. Justices heard the arguments last month. They have not ruled yet. Starting tonight, 2 weeks of closures begin, impacting both directions of I-90. KIRO 7 TV's Renji Sinha has details from Bellevue.
Closures start tonight at 9 p.m. and what they're doing is installing some electronic signs above the roadway, but that means drivers are going to feel the pinch when people driving on I-90 between I-405, the interchange there, and 156th Avenue. You can expect to have only one lane open each night. There will be detour signs to try to get people around, but this is going to be significant.
And that takes us to 4:33. We check real-time traffic now with Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
This was brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Let's start in South Hill, where it is getting busy this afternoon. Westbound 512 at Canyon Road, a collision has been reported. It's unclear which lane is blocked, but you're backed up now onto southbound 167, and really that southbound backup extends into Algona. Both directions of South Meridian are packed between the South Hill Mall all the way down to 176. That's about a 4-mile backup there. Tacoma to Olympia, however, is ironically a really easy commute today, taking just 40 minutes. Renton to Puyallup along the Valley Freeway is 45 minutes. Seattle to Everett, 1 hour. You're slow from the Ship Canal Bridge through North Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, an hour, 10 minutes. It's solid from Kirkland all the way into Alderwood now, and really heavy in Kirkland. Linwood to Seattle's at 35 minutes. Got a little backup there in Linwood, but it is packed from Lake City Way to the West Seattle Bridge. Bellevue to Renton's at a half hour. Got a thick backup from 520 to Coal Creek Parkway, and those lake bridges are doing pretty good at the moment. Prepare to be enchanted. Mentalists and illusionists, the Clairvoyants, come to the Emerald Queen Casino December 4th for a holiday spectacular. The Clairvoyants, December 4th, only at Emerald Queen Casino. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Your forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Had a pretty big band of rain roll through Seattle last hour. Most of the rain has tapered off, though. Still could see some light showers, mainly in the northern sound tonight, and then a few light showers tomorrow morning as well. Right now, 46 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
KIRO 7 News starting at 4. When you need to stay plugged in and connected, they've got you. Live breaking news so you know what's happening now, investigations and in-depth coverage to get you answers. Weather on the way to help you prepare, bringing the day's biggest stories into focus so you know more. Watch KIRO 7 News at 4, 5, and 6, only on KIRO 7 TV.
Well said, well read, Joe. That was great. Can't wait till KIRO 7 TV. Any relationship to KIRO Radio?
Oddly, no.
It's crazy how that happens.
Very confusing.
Yes, don't let it throw you off. Sports with Rye. Yes. There he is. There he is. Okay. Hang in there, Rye. Hang on. Sports with Rye. Try a try. Only got his chop from nepotism. Oh, tough job. Not anymore. He doesn't do Home Depot. I'll give you the score while holding a bottle of wine. What's the name of the winery that you're working?
Siren Song.
Siren Song.
In Chelan, yeah.
In Chelan, nice. That's right. When Rye's not on KOZI, your ticket to Great Sports and Second Cup of Coffee, he can be found over there. Siren Song is. What do you do over there? You drive the forklift?
Forklift, facility guy / training bartender.
Wow. Did you find time to talk about sports at all? Can you do something like that? Can you fit us into your busy schedule?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Certainly.
By the way, when we spoke last on the radio, as if there's any life outside of radio, you, I think, said at the last minute you thought the Seahawks were going to lose to the Vikings.
I said that off air
to
you at Thanksgiving.
Yes.
It all blends together, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
I was very scared about this game. 26-0. We shut them out. First time since 2015 the Seahawks have shut somebody out. Really almost never happens in the NFL. Very rare. Well, the reason I was afraid going into the game is that Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, had stated, and this is sort of his MO, he does it to everybody. He said, we're going to blitz the heck out of Sam Darnold and make him uncomfortable. And I went, that doesn't really bode well because we've seen Sam sort out, if there's really a rush bearing down on him, it hasn't looked so great. And I thought, man, I think with this kid Brosmer, who was the backup who played yesterday for the Vikings, God bless his soul, I thought he would be Mr. Checkdown and maybe just sort of work the ball to Jones or Hawkinson or Jefferson and just play a very conservative, kid gloves game plan. And I thought the Vikings were live in this game, this 10-point underdogs. For the most part, that sort of happened throughout the first and second quarter of this game. I'm very, very disappointed by Seattle's week of practice leading into this game. The Vikings are going to heat you up and they're going to run different variations of cover zero, 6 or 7 guys rushing you. And it's going to be advanced stuff. And still, it seemed like we were caught off guard by it. A lot of free rushers. That's a big thing. When you've got 7 guys at the line of scrimmage, you have to expect from the offensive side of the ball that all 7 are going to come. Okay, if we're blocking 6, we need to pick which 6 of those 7 that we're going to block. And whatever we do, nobody runs free through the A or B gap. And that happened yesterday. And it's just this is going to happen. You're playing the Vikings. They're going to send a bunch of pressures. And they did that, and we weren't ready. And we turned the ball over a couple times and didn't play very good offense. Sam wasn't very great. And even then, it's fine, let him pressure you. But have a contingency plan. Have some sight adjuster, a hot route, something built into your offense to combat the blitz. We weren't able to do that. Now, eventually, Kubiak sort of found it on the ground, and we were sort of able to ice this game away. And it didn't matter because that game it was 4 quarters yesterday. It could have been 8 quarters. The Vikings wouldn't have scored a touchdown. That was for Brosmer, and I don't want to dogpile on the kid, but if you've ever sat on the couch and be I wonder what it was like if I played out there. I wonder how I would do. That's kind of what the Max Brosmer experience was yesterday. That was such a tough environment to go into Seattle on the road, undrafted free agent. It's his first start ever in the NFL, and to have to play that defense, I felt bad for him.
How old is he?
I think he's 24. I think he spent 5 years in college, so 24.
So the Seahawks take this one easily. I want to let's just talk very quickly about the Falcons coming up. I don't know if you've been reading and seeing what's happening with Coach Morris. It's in there. He basically threw some of his other coaches under the bus. Another text has come up from somebody on Twitter saying that the Falcons have given up. They're rolling over for the rest of the season. They don't care.
It's possible. I think Raheem Morris is probably out at the end of this year. By the way, during that coaching cycle, the Atlanta Falcons had the chance to hire Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel, and Mike McDonald. They all got interviewed. Raheem Morris got the job. And if you don't know who those other coaches are, they're all going to be in the playoffs this year. One of them is the Seahawks head coach, Mike McDonald. It's been strange. They had such a strange first quarter of the season. Big blowout losses to bad teams. Then they come back and beat the Bills and were able to scrap off some nice wins. But it was so hard to get a read on them. Michael Penix, we all know him from his time at UW. He's been put on the shelf for the rest of the year with an injury. So Kirk Cousins, I mean, it's like every year the Seahawks somehow find a way to play Kirk Cousins. We'll play him again now in Atlanta. Yeah, it's bad vibes all around. They lose to the Jets yesterday. Whew, it's tough. And I think they need to reevaluate their play callers, reevaluate their offense and defensive coaches. I think Morris is out. They have some great players though. Drake London, their receiver, as well as Bijan Robinson. So again, it's a bad team with not a very good record, but they're still dangerous players.
So the Seahawks, let's say they take the Falcons, and then we have the Colts coming up. This team is heading to the playoffs, and you said 3 or 4 weeks ago, to be on air or off air, apparently there's no difference, that this team could be a Super Bowl bound team.
I think that's obvious at this point. The way Seattle is playing on defense, and the one issue, the one hang up is Sam Darnold and this offense. Like you say, we go into these big games. It can be a question mark. The blueprint is certainly out there on how you defeat Sam Darnold and make him uncomfortable when he's out of time and when he's off of his normal routine in the pocket. It can get really messy because he has a hard time sort of scrambling and making plays out of schedule. But yeah, I think right now they're the second favorite to win the Super Bowl, to give you some idea of just how bullish everybody is on this team.
So one last thing, predictions for you. What did you think the turkey would taste like? And then what did it taste like cooked at 225 degrees internal temperature? Didn't see that coming.
If we're going to keep it in football terms, I was expecting, when I saw that turkey, I was like, this turkey's going to go 2-14. And I think it went 9-8.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah.
Attaboy, Dad.
Had a winning season.
Attaboy.
Right.
It was good.
Okay, good. I think Rye said, "Hope you don't mind, Dad. I'm just going to be checked out the entire Thanksgiving." How many games did you watch?
I watched all 3, back to back to back.
Thank you, Rye Rolla. All right, go to it. Thank you. Let's check Nate. Checking traffic, Nathan.
All right, South Hill, we've got a collision westbound 512 near Canyon Road. That's got you backed up onto the Valley Freeway now. Now that southbound 167 backup extends into Algona. That's a solid backup. Both directions of South Meridian are now packed between the South Hill Mall and now all the way down to about 187th. This is just volume here. Tacoma to Olympia remains pretty smooth at 45 minutes. Renton to Puyallup along the entire stretch is at 50 minutes. Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett are right around an hour, 5 minutes. Linwood to Seattle is a 35-minute drive. Again, we've got this typical backup in Linwood for a couple miles, and then it is jam-packed from about 85th now down to I-90. Bellevue to Renton, give yourself 35 minutes. It's packed from 520 into Newcastle, and then you're going to thin out pretty quickly. Seattle to Federal Way is a 45-minute drive. Typical backup as well from interurban down to State Route 516. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, I know what it's like when you're watching your hair begin to thin, the crown disappears. It just feel like that hair loss is robbing you of your identity. That is how I felt before I visited Advanced Hair. See, Advanced Hair has got this simple one-day treatment, and they regrew my own natural hair. They can do the exact same thing for you. Because if you're noticing that your hair is beginning to go, the turning point for me was going to visit my brother, I don't know, like 10 years ago, 12 years ago. He's like, so what's the big day? I said, what big day? He goes, when you officially announce you're going bald. I was like, so about teasing from my brother, that's all I needed. I thought, you know what? I'm going to get my hair back. I do the exact same thing I did. You set up a free consultation to give you $250 off, 250 free hair grafts. Just give them a call at Advanced Hair, 425-449-8185. You know why? Because your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Give them a call. Set up that consultation. 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. AdvancedHair.com.
Save the date, Wednesday, December 10th. Join KIRO Newsradio and Treehouse for the 37th Annual Holiday Magic, providing holiday gifts and year-round support for more than 6,500 kids in foster care statewide. Over the past 36 years of holiday magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state. Join KIRO Newsradio and Treehouse this year and share the joy of the holiday season. Wednesday, December 10th. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
If you're looking for a great reason to get that new set of wheels for your car or truck, look no further than Wheel Week at Les Schwab Tires, where you can save 15% on select wheels from your favorite brands, including Raceline, Icon, Method, Vox, and Fuel. Whether you're upgrading or looking for the perfect gift, get a great deal on new wheels this holiday season. Stop by a store or book an appointment today. Les Schwab Tires. Get more from less. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale.
Hey, do you like spending extra money? Who doesn't, right? No, nobody does, and especially when it's on something like your utility bills, right? If those are noticeably higher in the winter or your home feels drafty, it could be because your attic and crawl space aren't properly insulated. It's Mike Salk here, and utility companies have special incentives to help with the cost of having your home properly insulated, including a once-in-a-lifetime rebate from Puget Sound Energy. So if you're a PSC customer and your home was built before 1990, you may qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yeah, they'll cover up to 95% of the cost. So don't wait. Take advantage of an incredible rebate today. Call Crawl Pros and learn what's going on behind that crawl space and attic hatch for free, and also what energy rebates you're eligible for. These guys are great. Did an awesome job at my house. So if you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
Paid political announcement.
More than half of short-term rentals across Washington are booked by Washingtonians. Families traveling for their children's tournaments and games. Firefighters fighting wildfires. Traveling nurses providing critical care. Every day, short-term rentals are helping make travel more affordable. Legislators in Olympia are considering increasing taxes on short-term rentals. But with the cost of everything going up, we can't take another price increase. Keep travel affordable for us. Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive host pack.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home. Thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
Best Mortgage is proud to be the longest-running mortgage company on KIRO Radio. Over 20 years, they've been giving honest advice you can trust as your VA loan and reverse mortgage experts and debt consolidation specialists, too. Just web search Best Mortgage.
I have to admit I'm guilty of this. I hate to admit it. But what's that?
I knew you would be.
On planes?
Yeah.
Looking over, the person's watching a movie. I don't normally watch a movie, sit there and read, and every once in a while you look over. It's weird. It's like people don't like when you're reading over their shoulder. Like they've got the computer there.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed a lot of people now have this special like film they put over the computer screen so you can't read it from the side. Mm-hmm. It's like, why do I care? But like, you're just sitting there bored. You get your phone. My phone always dies halfway through the flight. So I look over. I'm like, oh, the guy's got a Zoom meeting coming up in 3 weeks because I can see a schedule.
Yeah.
And then like just dumb emails. They're going back and forth. He's there doing work on the plane. I'm like, why? Just something to look at.
Yeah, it's always the guy across the aisle, a couple seats ahead of me. He's got a spreadsheet out, and I'll do whatever I can to figure out what he's working on or what industry he works in.
It's like, and there's a whole, Joe cautions everybody, backdoor browsing is not a site you want to go to.
Yeah, don't Google it.
Don't Google it. But apparently it is a guilty pleasure that we all have, that you read over somebody's shoulder if you see their phone, if you're behind them in the plane or beside them in a subway or a car or something like that. You look over and just kind of reading along. And it is weird because the person's not really doing anything. They're just reading what you're reading a book. They're reading along with you.
Or the best is at stadiums, because literally stadium seating, so you're a little elevated over the person, and then you see people text messaging and communicating. It's the most invasive, but it's also the most fun.
Yeah, because you just don't quite know what's happening. Like, for instance, the fact that my ongoing love affair with Molly, Joe wants me to end it. It's a scammer who wrote me more than 10 days ago, and she continues to write. Oh, she sent video. Oh, yeah, she's very concerned. How are you doing this morning? Sweet dreams. I hope you had sweet dreams. We don't know what her deal is. We do know that she continues to write. She wants, I don't know, oh, you should be eating better than this. I'm worried about you. You don't even exist. You're not even real. Because I talked to her on the phone and looked at video of her, and then with the pictures she sends me, it's not the same person.
Nor are the pictures you sent her the same as you.
That doesn't matter, Joe. No, I'm the one getting scammed. I'm the one getting scammed on this. You should be eating more. Then she sends me pictures of what she's eating. And I keep writing to her like, hey, why don't I fly down to LA and we'll have lunch? And she's like, now, she wrote back, we will have to talk about that.
We need more information, didn't she say?
What's the scam? Has anybody experienced this? So it was a fake text that came to me. Hey, hope you're doing better in your new home or something. I wrote back, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, is this not Ella? No, I thought you were Ella. I got your number wrong. Oh, that's okay. Tell Ella I said hi. And then with that, for the last 12 days, she's been writing me. So what are they going to try to get from me?
They call it a pig butchering scam, and you create a familiarity and a relationship, and eventually she's going to ask you for money or for you to send her some crypto or something like that, or to send you a link that will drain your crypto wallets of all that they're worth.
Okay, but that hasn't happened yet. She's still just sending pictures of herself.
Oh, wow.
There she is.
Is that the same one in the video or no?
Huh?
Is that the same one you talked to?
Yeah, no. This is a different person.
Okay.
I'm getting tired of it.
Me too.
All right, there. Don't hold anything back. Okay. All right, Nate, checking traffic. Nathan.
All right, let's start on the water. The Port Townsend Coopville Ferry Route has a couple cancellations tonight due to low tides, and one's coming up, the 5:15 out of Port Townsend and the 6 p.m. sailing out of Coopville. Up heading through Everett, North 5, scattered backups between the Boeing Freeway into Marysville, taking about 15 minutes to make this drive. South 5 is wide open per usual. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are right around hour 5 minutes. In Bellevue, South 405 5 approaching I-90. We've got a new collision in your left lane. This adds to our solid backup at 520. Bellevue to Renton's going to take you a half hour. And we've got our collision down at South Hill, westbound 512 at Canyon Road. That's got you backed up onto the Valley Freeway, and that freeway backup starts in Algona. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, getting ready for the holidays, and maybe you have to break out all the Christmas ornaments or something else. And you notice how messy the closets are. Maybe you keep all the ornaments and all the decorations out there in the garage, and it's just pandemonium. Wouldn't it be nice to have organization? Because when organization's there, the stress is reduced and just everything has its place. That's exactly what I have learned firsthand after having Closets by Design come out to the barn more than 4 months ago. The wonderful designer explained that she's going to customize everything for us. I was like, oh my God, what's the price going to be? I love the fact that Closets by Design is locally owned. They've been around for 22 years. They're a family-run business, and they really do highly customized. They don't come in with a box of parts and try to jerry-rig it in there. So they redesigned the garage. They came up with an entire wall of cabinets in there. The master bedroom, completely redone. And the other closet as well, there is organization and space. And man, oh man, great. I love the fact they give you 40% off, plus an additional 15% off. And 18 months financing is available for you, and free installation with Closets by Design. Locally owned, family-run, highly customized, and a great, great company to work with. 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's closetsbydesign.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
Voters approved it in 2018, and yet here it is, late 2025. Federal Way Light Rail is finally opening to the public. 3 new stations, 8 new miles. You'll hear all about it in Choke Points Tuesday morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
It's clogged again.
Your drain?
Just had it cleared.
You didn't call Apollo Plumbing.
How can you tell?
Because your drain's clogged again.
So frustrating.
We can clear that drain.
That's what the last guy said.
We'll clear it, guaranteed.
He said that too.
Apollo Plumbing will clear your drain, or it's free.
Wait, what?
Apollo Plumbing clears your drain.
Or it's free?
Yep.
What's the catch?
No catch.
Fine print?
Apollo Plumbing clears your main drain for $83.
$83, or it's free?
And we'll even give you a camera inspection.
Because?
It's the best way to find what's causing your clog.
But that's extra.
Nope, included.
No extra charge?
Not 1 cent.
$83, or it's free.
All it takes is an accessible outside cleanout.
And an Apollo plumber.
No clog is safe from Apollo Plumbing.
And just like that, my main drain is...
draining again.
How can you...
Apollo plumbers are that good.
$83, or it's free.
You call, we come.
My drain's draining again.
Guaranteed.
$83, or it's free.
As it should be.
Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger. But your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Flace with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Kids are full of energy, but keeping them active in their teen years can be a challenge. Aim for an hour of physical activity every day. If they like sports, that's a great place to start. Keep the focus on fun, not winning, and encourage your child to do a variety of activities. If your child isn't meeting that 60-minute goal, gradually increase their activity in ways they enjoy. For more, talk with your pediatrician or visit healthychildren.org.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
a smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, it's Brock Heward here, and you got to take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. It could save you a lot of money and get your family better coverage. First Mark has saved my family thousands of dollars every year. Take the First Mark Challenge. It's totally free. Just simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Some people are still working on getting home from the Thanksgiving holiday. A weekend snowstorm in the Midwest caused major problems for a lot of people flying and driving. CBS's Usher Qureshi at Chicago's O'Hare Airport.
Chicago saw over 8 inches, its snowiest day ever in November, which caused headaches for holiday travelers.
We are pretty tired.
Yeah. You missed your connection, though.
We missed our connection due to a delayed flight coming from Rochester.
Since Saturday, more than 2,000 flights have been canceled at O'Hare, thousands more delayed.
You can still fly if you don't have a real ID, but soon it will cost you. CBS's Christopher Cruz.
TSA agents have been allowing passengers who don't present a real ID-compliant driver's license or state ID, passport, or other acceptable document to fly if they're able to confirm their ID using an alternative identity verification system. Beginning February 1st, the TSA Confirm.ID process will cost $45 and will last just 10 days. TSA says more than 94% of passengers now use their real ID or other acceptable forms of identification. Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
Investigators are still trying to determine a motive in last week's shooting of 2 West Virginia National Guard members in Washington, D.C. The suspect, an Afghan national, is still hospitalized, and CBS's Nicole Skanga says a caseworker had raised concerns over the suspect's mental health.
Psychiatric trauma is really common among asylum seekers, especially veterans of U.S.-backed units like Lockenwall's. But this kind of concern from a caseworker should have triggered additional review, support, intervention, and possibly monitoring.
Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom died last week, and Air Force Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf remains in serious condition, but has given a thumbs up and moved his toes today. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirms the U.S. struck an alleged drug smuggling vessel a second time in September and pinned the choice on the commander of the mission. CBS's Ed O'Keefe reports.
The White House, after several days of debate here in Washington about the legality of those strikes, confirmed that there was a second strike on that alleged drug boat, but defended the actions of the defense secretary in the midst of that, suggesting that it was in fact a Navy admiral instead who carried out the attack that led to the death of those 2 other sailors.
The White House says of the president's MRI results from heart and other organ systems. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
All major organs appear very healthy and well perfused. Everything evaluated is functioning within normal limits with no acute or chronic concerns.
Yesterday, the president told reporters that the MRI conducted in October was not for his brain. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Coming up, a Burien school goes on lockdown amid reports of a gun on campus. The latest after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. We're starting to get busy out there. Started off really nice and easy earlier this afternoon, but now South 405 getting really ugly through Bellevue. We've got 2 collisions now. The first approaching I-90 in your left lane, and just beyond that, approaching Cold Creek Parkway, another collision takes up the left lane, and this adds to a bumper-to-bumper backup starting at 520. So Bellevue to Renton has gone up to 40 minutes. Seattle to Everett, an hour 10. It's slow from the Ship Canal Bridge all the way through North Linwood. Bellevue to Everett's down a bit to 55 minutes, but it's solid from Kirkland to Alderwood. Linwood to Seattle, 35 minutes. We've got a backup in Linwood, and then you're just barely crawling from 85th into downtown now. Got a new collision westbound on the Mukilteo Speedway at Beverly Park Road, and that's got you backed up all the way to 164th, close to a 3-mile backup here. Still got this collision down in South Hill, westbound 512 at Canyon, and you're backed up onto the Valley Freeway, and that freeway backup starts way back in Algona. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Granillo. Highline High School in Burien went on a lockdown today after reports of somebody with a gun on school grounds. This parent telling KIRO 7 TV.
Texting my kid the whole time, and she's telling me that they're all in the gym and that hopefully they'll let them go soon.
We get more from KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
Reports came in about someone with a gun on campus around 1 p.m.
There was some sort of altercation between kids.
One student was assaulted, apparently pistol whipped, according to Brandon Hull in the King County Sheriff's Office. 3 people taken into custody. The lockdown lifted around 2:30. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
4 teenagers accused of shooting at police in Seattle made their first court appearance today. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch was there.
3 girls, 15 to 17 years old, and a 16-year-old boy. In court, prosecutor Adam Vanderlochat asked that they all be held in secure detention.
The respondent was found in a stolen vehicle where multiple firearms were involved, where shots were fired at a police vehicle. The state has serious concerns for community safety.
2 other males fled on foot and are still on the loose. In Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A gunman is on the loose as well following a deadly shooting this morning at a hookah lounge in the Chinatown International District. This happened just before 8 o'clock this morning near Rainier Avenue South and South King Streets. SPD Detective Eric Munoz says it started with a fight inside that lounge.
Shortly after that altercation, the suspect fired multiple rounds into the area of the hookah lounge from just outside, and one of those bullets did, in fact, strike our victim.
The 30-year-old victim later died at the hospital. So far, no suspects. Multiple sources are telling KIRO News Radio that Green River killer Gary Ridgway is receiving end-of-life care at the Washington State Penitentiary. The 76-year-old serial killer pleaded guilty to murdering 49 women in 2003. Now, the State Department of Corrections cannot comment on Ridgway's medical condition due to privacy laws, but in a new statement tonight, a spokesperson says Ridgway has not had any change to his medical condition. Weather now, brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors, looking at cloudy skies right now, and some rain as well, and some light snow in the mountains, tapering off by tomorrow morning. Right now, 45 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Just what is it that you want to do?
We want to be free to ride our machines without being hassled by the man.
Yeah.
And we want to get loaded.
Don't get loaded and ride the machines.
No,
the man will hassle you. All right, here we go with the John Curley Show on a Monday. There's everybody. Here we go. Hi. I love talking to Cliff Mass. Cliff, my professor of atmospheric sciences at the UW. Did you know I used to be a weatherman?
No. When were you a weatherman?
I was in Washington, D.C. at WUSA. And I always, didn't study any sort of sciences, because I thought people just, my theory was, Cliff, as a scientist, you're really going to have a problem with this. But when I would look ahead at the 5-day forecast, which is total crap, say it was Thursday, I would make it partly sunny on Saturday and Sunday. You know why? Because I wanted to give people hope, something to look forward to. So as I thought, do I go partly cloudy? No, or cloudy? It's just it's a guess anyway. So I'd always say, hey, but the weekend's looking good. You just, throw it out there just to give the people something to look forward to.
Well, now the 5-day forecast is pretty good. So
wait a minute, is it really?
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, the world has changed. In the old days, a 1 or 2 day forecast was all you had, but now forecasts are really good up to 4 or 5 days. A lot of times, a 5-day forecast is quite good.
Okay, Cliff Mass, class is in session. Do you know the story of how the 5-day forecast got started?
How it got started? No, yeah. Tell me.
Okay, so it was a TV station in Connecticut. It was an ABC station, and they're going up against the Johnny Carson show. And Johnny Carson's show used to start right at 11:32 or 33. And tonight, did Johnny Carson, Johnny Show, Burt Reynolds. I tell you who all the people are going to be on. That's the only time they really told you who was going to be on. So everybody would switch over from the ABC over to NBC, but they would start doing it around like 11:20. So the news director said to the consultant, how can we get people to stay and keep listening, keep watching rather than flipping over to NBC? Right. And the guy said, well, why don't you give them like a 5-day forecast? People love weather. Well, the meteorologist at that time was like, I can't do that. I can't in good conscience tell everybody I can't do 5 days out. And the news director said, either you do 5 days out, give them the 5-day forecast, or you're fired. I don't think the guy fell on his sword. I think he kept doing it. But that was the beginning of the 5-day forecast, was to stop the ABC affiliates from having switch over to Johnny Carson show. So it was really Johnny Carson. Yeah, there you go. How about that, huh?
How long ago?
Oh, this is like 1970s. Which would that be right that the 5-day forecast couldn't be done back then?
Right. In the 1970s, the 5-day forecast was junk. But that's not true anymore. It's quite skillful.
Right. So listen, let's go even longer term. I saw this story and I thought, I got to get you on to talk about this. This is a lawsuit that these people are saying, because you always have to have somebody who can show damages. These people in Washington state are saying, my home insurance is going up because of the fossil fuel industry has held back information that they knew that shows that they are directly responsible for climate change. So therefore, we are going to sue oil companies and fossil fuel companies because they knew that they were damaging the environment. The damage to the environment is now causing my homeowner's insurance to go up. That's the new lawsuit they're trying to come up with.
It's total nonsense. And, basically they're suggesting that global warming is causing all kinds of increases in extreme weather, which is causing, claims for insurance companies, right? It's something like that.
Yes.
Well, it turns out that that's not true. Consider around here, the big windstorms, that caused a lot of damage. There is no indication they're increasing. I mean, I did a study. We published a study showing that there is no increase in big windstorms around here. So that's a big problem for global warming. Take something else, cold waves. I mean, they're getting less. Okay. Heat waves a little bit more, but they're not that costly. Actually, cold waves kill a lot more people than heat waves. And cold waves are going down. So less people are dying and being injured by extreme temperature right now than before. I mean, I can go on and on, but it's total nonsense.
Were you surprised by, so they just had the big climate change group happen there, this COP30 happened in Brazil. Right. And apparently everybody kind of went away with nothing. And a survey that was taken, a poll taken in Switzerland or Sweden, that the majority of young people that were often concerned about climate change has dropped from 33% down to 15% for females. It's dropped to 12% for males. They don't see it as this existential threat that it was before. Why is the air kind of being let out of the existential threat of climate change?
Well, they've been claiming there'd be all this increase in disasters for a long time now, and it's simply not happening. It is clearly not happening. And a little bit of warming, most people are not experiencing anything significant. We are warming slowly, but the effects of that are so small. It's really moderate impact. So there's no existential threat. It's very clear it's all nonsense, and people are starting to get wise to it.
They've been shopping around. The Center for Climate Integrity shops around trying to get different lawmakers at different conferences to recruit state legislators to join their lawsuits against big oil. Here's an example of it. There we go. Hang on. Here it is.
At NCEL 2025 in Boston, we're engaging with state legislators from across the country in an effort to address the oil and gas industry's contribution to the ongoing insurance crisis.
I'm from the state of Hawaii, where we're experiencing huge effects of climate change. We just had a huge fire with Lahaina that just affected not just our housing market, our insurance market, and with renewals, people are getting denied insurance. We just can't continue to see this devastating impact on people's lives.
In Nevada, we absolutely are a victim of the insurance crisis and the climate crisis that is a direct result of the actions of big oil. We are seeing increased wildfires.
Okay, Cliff, if you were there, what would you say to all those people?
Well, I've actually published about a half a dozen papers on wildfires and the connection with meteorology. I've written on it. And this claim that the wildfires are all increasing due to global warming is absolutely nonsensical. And I mean, give you an example. Take the Lahaina situation.
Yeah.
Right. I wrote a paper on that. Well, that had nothing to do with climate change. What it did have to do with was a municipality that was totally unprepared. You had some winds that picked up. The winds have nothing to do with climate change. You had power lines that weren't maintained. They sparked the fire. Then you had people that they put the fire out, but it really wasn't out. They didn't stay with the fire. This is very similar to Los Angeles, and it burned into town. The warnings, they didn't warn people to get out. They blocked roads. Well, anyway, one mistake after the other, but none of this had to do with climate change. And they've done this with fire after fire. Of course, the Los Angeles fires, which I just finished a paper on, is the same thing. Climate change had nothing to do with this.
But they want to point to it as often as possible. I saw the very beginning of today is the beginning of hurricane season, according to CBS. This is a while ago. And experts are saying that this one's going to be worse than ever. 15 to 20 hurricanes will be hitting and destroying lives and all this other stuff because of climate change. It turns out the hurricane season was actually below average.
Well, in fact, there were no landfalling hurricanes on the American coast. Zero. Okay. Which doesn't happen very often. So this was actually a very benign hurricane season, and they were predicting that global warming was going to cause all this to be a terrible season. Look, didn't happen.
Is it eventually at a certain point, as the boy that cries wolf, do people stop listening?
Well, I think that's partially why it's gotten there. I think they've been screaming wolf now for over 20 years, and it's not happening. So I think it's catching up to them finally.
So you're saying gluing your hand to an NBA court doesn't solve the Earth's temperature increases?
No, I don't think so. And the studies that are coming out now are really knocking down the signal. They exaggerated the effects. They made assumptions that we're going to be burning huge amounts of coal into the rest of the century, and they made all these predictions based on it. But it's clearly not happening. So it's obviously false.
So right now, what happens with smart countries? We see Germany starting to move away, France starting to do nuclear, and the ongoing push for energy efficiency will be so necessary when it comes to AI and having these data centers put in place. I think a couple of countries are looking to build small nuclear power plants. This demand will need to be met. And I think they'll end up shelving a lot of this climate stuff, these renewables, because we just won't have the capacity to be able to generate the energy we need if we'd like to be able to lead the world with AI. Do you see that being a big thrust forward? It will leave behind the windmills and some of this other stuff?
Well, in places like the Northwest, renewable energy just doesn't work. Obviously, solar is not very good in the middle of the wintertime right now. And it turns out that wind generation here is very poor exactly when you need it. So, in fact, the last week, we've had almost no wind energy, almost none. And during the greatest heat waves and the cold waves, when we need energy the most, the wind dies. But fortunately, the solution to this is not hard. We have nuclear, we have fission right now, which the environmental movement won't use, but they could. So that new, very safe nuclear reactors, and fusion power is coming. It is going to come. And when we get fusion power, we'll have unlimited energy, and it won't be an issue.
You've been on the fusion train for a while. What's holding it up?
Well, it's a complex technology, but right now there are about 23 major companies in the U.S. working on it. And I've talked to some of them. I've been to meetings, and they're solving the technical problems. I mean, we're only maybe 10 years away, something like that. Well, make it 20 years, make it 30 years. It still solves the problem. I mean, we'll have unlimited energy within decades. But in any case, we have very safe fission power, which is available right now. And France gets most of their energy, most of their electricity from nuclear. We can do the same thing.
It's really interesting when you talk to a climate change activist and you do bring up nuclear. It's like you're suddenly starring in a silent movie. they don't even hear the word or don't even want to discuss the word. They change the subject as quickly as they could because they just they dismiss it out of hand because they really do know it is the answer. If they're concerned about the burning of fossil fuels, go nuclear, and they have no retort.
Well, it's a religion. That's what it's a belief system and religion. It's not rational. And so when someone like me interacts with them and they can't do the nonsense about the extreme weather stuff, then they start suggesting that it's a moral issue of some sort.
Yeah, well, then you don't want to get into start to argue from a moral position, but I would like to say from a rational decision. I don't know why whoever says, yeah, let's put windmills out there near Ellensburg, and I drive by them all the time. I am like Don Quixote. I'm cursing them because I see them just sitting there. A high-pressure system sits in place. It's cold outside, generating zero energy, but the cost of having those things in place, just I don't know why anybody would say, let's build these things. We'll need the energy in the winter, but it's not producing any energy. Why would anybody sign off on something like that, Cliff?
Well, and the big problem is they're intermittent. I mean, the power's not there all the time. And we don't have a technology for storing large amounts of energy. It doesn't exist. That's the problem.
And let's put you slightly on the spot. I know that you don't like this sort of stuff. Do you have any idea what our winter will be like?
Well, I can talk about that.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, you want it? Here it is.
Here it is. Here we go. Here we go.
This is a La Nina winter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, La Nina. And during La Nina winters, certain things tend to happen. Now, this is not a certainty. It's like the dice are weighted in a certain direction. But La Nina winters, we tend to be cooler than normal. We tend to be wetter than normal. And the snowpack tends to be healthy. So that's what typically happens in La Nina winters. And so if you are betting, you would bet on that.
Got it. Okay, because everybody wants all the ski resorts to open up. So La Nina would say that it's going to be colder and wetter. That's good news for anybody that wants to be out in the snow, out in the cold anyway.
And the reservoirs are filling up now.
There we go.
It is actually happening.
Well, you don't often hear good news. You only hear the bad news because the boy that cries wolf continues to yell wolf until eventually nobody's listening to him anymore. But they should always be listening to you, Cliff Mass. Thanks for letting me audit your class right there. And you learned a little something about the beginning of the 5-day forecast to stop Johnny Carson.
I didn't know that. Thank you very much.
Take it to the bank, Cliff Mass. Thank you very much. Our professor there, atmospheric sciences at the UW. It's nice to see you on camera, too.
Okay. Good to talk to you.
See you, Cliff. There we go. Checking Nate. Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
All right. We cleared that earlier collisions, and stalls along South 405 between Bellevue and Renton. Bellevue to Renton, though, is up to 40 minutes. Got a solid backup from 520 to Northeast 44th there at the VMAC. Northbound 405, you've got a steady backup between South Center and the VMAC. South Center to Bellevue is up to 25 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way, a 35-minute drive. You're crowded along South Center to 516. Seattle to Everett, an hour 5. It's still solid from 520 to Linwood. Bellevue to Everett is down to 50 minutes. Scattered backups now from Kirkland into Alderwood. Linwood to Seattle holding steady at 35 minutes. Got a couple miles of slowing through Linwood to get through, and then you're bumper to bumper at Lake City Way all the way down to the West Seattle Bridge. North 5 jams up at the Michigan Curve in the downtown. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
What would you do to add more years to your life? Would you give up, say, 4 or 5 hours a year to have a longer life? That seems to be a pretty good exchange, isn't it? You give 4 or 5 hours, and then you get more years. And the hours I'm talking about, that's a blood draw. You do a blood draw at Longevity Medical Clinic, and then you're on the phone with your doctor or in person for an hour. Right? There's one. Do this 4 times a year. You know what you get? You get a doctor that is looking at all of the indicators of how you are aging. And Longevity Medical Clinic has been there for 25 years, and they're using the latest science and have helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Just like myself, I've been a patient since 2009. Look for early indicators of the big bad 3 that take most of us out of the game way too early, like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. And then they look at all the other stuff that's happening as you age, and they either try to slow it down, stop it entirely, reverse it, and just give you more years. So you give them about 5 hours a year, and you end up getting more years. That's a good exchange. That's well worth it. But the first thing you have to do is take the free health analysis. at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Hawks get it done at home.
They do it in style with a 26-0 shellacking.
Improving to 9-3, staying with the small pack of teams atop the NFC.
It's intercepted, and this one goes to the house. Jones with a pick six.
Complete coverage at mynorthwest.com.
That was big for our defense. I feel like it's another level that we can reach. We're just worried about playing our style of ball, playing for each other.
And the station where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Comcast Business is celebrating the holidays by giving your business the $1,000 holiday bonus when you switch to a gig speed internet package. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 12, the new laptop for the office holiday hero. Or possibility number 108, smart speakers to deck those hallways. Or possibility number 192, new equipment for the new year. Or possibility number 555, Bluetooth holiday lights for office decor. Switch to Comcast Business, designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect, plus advanced cybersecurity, and now get the $1,000 holiday bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 12/14/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Requires qualifying gig package. Other restrictions apply.
If you're wearing glasses or contacts, but you need reading glasses or bifocals now, you need to join Drs. Kopstein and King for the K2 Vision RLE live webinar this Thursday at noon to learn about refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE. This free webinar is a perfect opportunity to meet the doctors and have them answer all your questions about K2 Vision RLE. Questions like, how much does RLE cost? Is financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE? These questions and lots more will be covered this Thursday at noon during the K2 Vision RLE free live webinar. K2 Vision surgeons have performed over 150,000 procedures. They know when RLE is right for you. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers. Plus, no more cataracts. Don't miss the free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Register at K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. A home in Pierce County is now riddled with bullet holes after a street takeover in Parkland over the weekend. KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Audley spoke with the homeowner near Park Avenue South and State Route 512.
You can still see the skid marks from cars that were doing donuts here. A woman who lives nearby says the whole thing ended in that gunfire. She ended up finding several bullet holes in her fence, one in her husband's truck, and another near her front door.
We have a 4-year-old son, so to me, I'm like, oh my God, and thank God his room's on the opposite side of the house.
Pierce County Sheriff's Office confirmed to me they got a ton of 911 calls, but they couldn't respond until they had enough deputies. And according to the write-up, everyone was gone when those deputies got here and no arrests were made.
White House now says an admiral did order a second strike on a suspected drug boat near Venezuela, killing survivors of the original strike. CBS's Ed O'Keefe reports.
Confirmation, essentially, of what was originally a Washington Post report on Friday, that there had been this strike on a vessel that killed most people on board except for 2. A second strike then killed them.
White House says the September strike was lawful. Some lawmakers call it a war crime. Washington Congressman Adam Smith is a ranking member on the House Armed Services Committee. He tells News Nation.
If we're not at war, what is the justification for using lethal force on boats allegedly carrying drugs thousands of miles away from America?
Lawmakers from both parties now calling for congressional reviews of these U.S. military strikes. Winter storms in the Midwest caused big delays across the country today, including having a ripple effect at SeaTac Airport. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
It's a bad weather holiday rush combination. More than a dozen flights out of SeaTac delayed Monday morning, a trickle-down effect after winter storms delayed more than 600 flights across the country. This traveler tells KIRO 7 TV it's still the best way to get from Seattle to Montana.
Taking the plane is the way to go, and even if the traffic is bad, it's still better than a 13-hour drive.
The busiest times at SeaTac between 2 and 5 p.m. and 9 to 11 at night. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Cleanup of fuel continues at a blueberry farm near Everett after a pipeline leak. BP says crews recovered about 2,300 gallons so far from the Olympic pipeline. According to the Seattle Times, it is now repaired and running again as of Saturday. The leak stopped jet fuel deliveries to SeaTac for nearly 2 weeks. 5:33 now. We go to the real-time traffic desk, checking in with Nate Connors.
All right, Aaron, looks like we still have this collision southbound 405 at Cold Creek Parkway after all, blocking that right lane. You're jam-packed from Northeast 8th all the way down to the VMAC, where we have an earlier stall partially blocking the HOV lane. They've mostly shoved it off to the left shoulder there. So Bellevue to Renton right now is at 35 minutes. Bellevue to Everett, 50 minutes. Scattered backups from Kirkland into Alderwood. Seattle to Everett, a solid hour with a solid backup from the U District to Linwood. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, we're looking good. Just 15 minutes on 520, 20 minutes on I-90. Linwood to Seattle is up to 40 minutes, though. We've got a diminishing backup through Linwood, but it is still packed from Lake City Way in the downtown. North 5 jams up at the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Renton to Puyallup, southbound 167, we're thinning out. We're down to 35 minutes. It's also 35 minutes between Tacoma and Olympia. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Your forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. A few showers tonight, some light mountain snow, lingering light showers tapering off tomorrow morning. We'll get some afternoon sunshine tomorrow as well. Right now, 45 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Here we go. Wilcox Family Farm Eggs Recipe Wheel. Teeny's going to spin that wheel again, and we want to congratulate. Who's it? Clint had the.
Yes, Clint in Oak Harbor.
Thank you, Clint, for your choice. Well, he must have checked in the recipe. There goes all the names of all the players, and it lands on Aaron. Good for all of us.
Clint sent a picture of his egg and hole in a cast iron skillet. That good crust on that.
Yes.
So I made an oldie but a goodie over the weekend with my leftover turkey.
Ooh, okay.
Avalemino soup, baby.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
The one that's hard to say.
Avalemino soup. It starts with the mirepoix, the base of carrots, celery, green onions, garlic. Saute those bad boys up, throw in some stock, and then orzo.
Ooh, orzo.
A little starch.
Okay.
And once that's cooking, you throw in the turkey. And this is where the egg mixture
you were
comes in
when
play.
the egg was coming in there, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a separate bowl, you have egg and lemon. You start scooping some of that hot broth into the egg and lemon to temper.
That's a tease.
Temper the eggs.
Yes.
You got to bring that egg to temperature because you do not want it to boil.
No.
You just want it to slowly come to temp. Makes the soup very silky. Throw it back into the broth.
Silky soup.
Very good. Joe had some once, if I recall.
That's
Okay,
right.
wow, there's
Yeah. I brought in some leftovers.
Wow, that's the Wilcox Family Farm Eggs Recipe. That's quite complicated, but it'll be well worth it. So we'll see how Clint does in Oak Harbor with that one.
Yeah. What's it called again, John?
Oh, sorry, it's a soup.
Avalemino. It's spelled Avgolemino.
Thank you. Thank you, Aaron. All right, lucky for us that landed on Aaron, and we were able to chew up 3 minutes. There are 150 million Americans that have not gotten the real ID. Good for you.
Beginning February 1st, at airports nationwide, it might cost you an extra $45 to fly without a real ID. Flyers without a real ID can pay the fee online before arriving at TSA checkpoints. They'll get an email to present to the TSA officer.
So if you get to the airport and you don't have a real ID or another acceptable form of ID and you haven't gone through the online verification process and you happen to make it all the way to the TSA checkpoint there, they may pull you out of line and go through a verification process that could take up to 30 minutes and cost you $45.
TSA officials say that fee covers the costs of modernizing the agency's identity verification program, which will be used to analyze a traveler's biographic or biometric information.
And to violate your Fourth Amendment rights.
To verify their identity. But even then, it's not guaranteed they'll get through security.
It's really all about security. It's really all about making sure that we have the safest system and making sure that we know who's processing through our airports and getting on board.
We're going to pat down the old lady in the wheelchair.
A $45 fee will cover TSA checkpoint access for a 10-day period and can be used multiple times in that period. TSA officials say the best way to avoid the fee and any possible delay at the airport
is to give up your constitutional rights and get yourself the real ID. Not a real driver's license, they call it real ID.
Is to get a real ID.
Yeah, get a real ID. No, use a passport if you want.
The real ID is really a federal surveillance mechanism, part of the coming surveillance state. And it's not even actually issued by the federal government or by any of the states.
No, the French are involved.
It's issued by a private French company called Idemia, which is essentially in the business of surveillance. Participating in a national ID like this makes it much, much easier for you to be tracked and traced wherever you go so that they'll be able to impose these restrictions on travel.
Yeah, it's interesting because Patty Murray in 2005 was saying that she didn't want to do this, they didn't want this, they fought this because they didn't want the cost to fall back onto the state to issue these things. Finally, all the states caved on it. Now you have to be able to have your real ID in order to fly. Just fly with a passport. Here's a member of the Citizens Council for Freedom sounding the alarm. She says,
110 million Americans who have not chosen to do the real ID. And
who else? Joe, you have real ID?
No, I tried, but I didn't bring enough.
Good. Okay. And you're in there as well? You have it? You have a real ID?
Wyatt, that's Wyatt.
Wyatt, yes or no?
No.
Good.
No.
Nate? Good. Okay.
All 110 of them and everybody else. So choose never to do the Real ID. If you already have one, if you've got a gold star on, go and get a standardized driver's license.
Yes.
If you're afraid of flying, go get your passport.
Hear that, Wyatt?
But do not take the Real ID. Because the whole idea here, the state of Pennsylvania asked Trump to shut down this program.
Yep.
They called it a usurpation of states' rights.
Yep.
The federal government has taken over driving and identification over the entire country. And they're going to take all of your primary identification documents and keep them for themselves. You're going to have to give them your social security number, your birth certificate, and your marriage certificate, and they will hold them. They've never had
marriage certificate?
Yeah, they need a younger spokesperson.
them before. You are essentially recertifying yourself as an American, and then they want to put this and digitize it, put it on your phone, and be able to shut down your access anytime you do.
Yeah, so what they think is this is the camel's nose under the tent. Eventually you get into, well, wouldn't it be easier rather than carrying around the card? We'll just put it all on your phone. It would be the same thing they're introducing in the UK.
You can do that now with your passport.
Yeah, digital ID, mandatory in the UK, which you have to prove in order for your right to work. It'll all be stored in your smart app in your phone, but then they can do a whole bunch of other stuff as well to stop you from doing this or doing that, basically just tracking you all the way. And then if they want to shut you down, like they did in Canada during the Ottawa, during the truckers, protest. Remember that when Trudeau shut down people's ATM machines so you couldn't take out any money if you gave like $5 for diesel for the truckers? They would close down your banks. You weren't able to get anything in order to fine you. I mean, they just have to keep all your information in one place. Yes, it's very convenient for you, but it's also extremely convenient for hackers that want to be able to go in and get something because they've never been able to hack the government's databases, which they've done over and over again. So the same sort of thing is this. For the convenience of having it, you say, well, you know what? I give up a little bit of privacy for more security. Well, according to who or whom? And the fact that it's a French company that has all this data, I don't know. To me, if you can avoid it, avoid it. I just carry my passport with me and no problem. And you go up to the camera, you don't stand in front of it. You say, no picture, please. You hand the guy the passport, step around the camera. They get that, but just why? Apparently, there was a problem before. It took them a long time to get this thing in place. Just having all your data in one place for anybody that wants to get in there and find it all.
I'm pretty sure if you're not getting rush delivery, the cost of a passport is like $40. So you're still paying less for your passport than you are for the fee if you get even to bypass the Real ID.
They're just trying to make it uncomfortable for you. A $45 fee. You're like, oh my God. So they're just forcing you to have to go ahead and do this, right? Same thing they did during the whole COVID vaccine stuff. First of all, they're like, hey, we'll buy you dinner. We'll get you a hamburger. You can win the lottery. We'll send you to college. Remember all the incentives they try to do? And people are like, I don't want it. I don't care about a hamburger. I don't care about French fries. I'm not getting a vaccine. Oh, you could win the lottery. You could win a whole bunch of money. Go ahead, get it. If it's that great, why do they have to offer those incentives? And then when all that didn't work, then you had Joe Biden stand up and say, we're going to make it really difficult for you to, and the same thing with Fauci, who invented this disease, to say, well, then we're going to make it harder for you to work. We're going to make it harder for you to rent a place. We're going to make it harder for you to go to sporting events. We're just going to make it harder and harder for you to do something unless you acquiesce and, cave and, allow us to inject this experimental chemical into your arm. That's when everybody's going to text in, oh, COVID, it saved all these lives.
I got the shot.
Yeah.
But you knew that.
We all did.
And I'm healthier. I just got it. I get it usually every year.
Yeah, and when did you get sick? Last week?
Never.
No.
Yeah.
No, you
never.
didn't. No, not never. You didn't come in the other day. I said, why? He said, well, I got the vaccine, I got the flu thing, and I felt sick. I took the day off.
All right.
I sit right next to you, Nate.
That's true.
I mourn when you're not there. Because I don't have anybody to borrow my charger from. Yeah. All right. Nate, checking traffic. Nate on.
All right. Home Comfort Alliance has the update. We cleared our collision South 405 at Cold Creek Parkway for real this time. It's jam-packed from Northeast 8th to the VMAC. Bellevue to Renton, 35 minutes. Bellevue to Everett, looking at a 50-minute drive. Seattle to Everett, still a solid hour with a solid backup from the U District to Linwood. Linwood to Seattle, 40 minutes. Got a little bit of a backup in Linwood, but it's just barely moving from Lake City Way through downtown. North 5 jams up at the Mission Michigan Curve in the downtown. Seattle to Federal Way, we're down to a half hour. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeways at 35 minutes. Northbound on the Valley Freeway, though, we do have a new collision at 24th there in Sumner. It's in the HOV lane. This is at the front end of a 2-mile backup heading into the Pacific Bridge work zone. Plan on 15 minutes to clear this. The Black Friday comfort sale is on now at Home Comfort Alliance. Save up to 75%, plus enjoy 18 months 0% financing OAC. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Spent some time with friends over the Thanksgiving holiday, and it was I tried to move the conversation over to bad hip, shoulder, wrist, ankle, knee. Like, I got bone on bone. I'm like, oh, well, let me tell you. You need to go to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports for Regenerative Medicine. Like, this sounds like a commercial. Quiet, I'm in the middle of this. If you have a bad shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, knee, and you've been thinking about surgery, this is what I was saying to some friends. So I was over at Dan Redwine's house. I'm like telling his wife, I said, listen, you got a bad knee. Here's what you do. You got to find out about stem cell. And Dr. Mark Wagner has done 20,000 of these. I just have my hip done, and I feel great. So before you do surgery, just go see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, right there at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, because he'll look at the x-rays, he looks at the MRI, and then he'll tell you, you'd be a good candidate for this. It's a 90-minute procedure done right there in the office, and you feel great because you haven't gone under the knife and you haven't had to do all that expensive surgery on that end. You just simply talk to Dr. Mark Wagner about a stem cell procedure. This could be the answer for you. Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Seattle's morning news.
Hi, I'm Charlie Hart.
And I'm Amanda Factor.
Lawful boat strike or war crime.
New York Times investigative reporter David Farenthold has the latest on a bipartisan call for answers.
The human and financial cost of keeping the U.S. and its allies safe.
We're going to chat with the writer and co-director of the new documentary, The True Cost of Defense.
Join us for all the day's news, traffic, and weather.
That's tomorrow morning, 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Honey, look, 4 calling birds.
Do they have cell phones?
Well, yeah. They're called calling birds because they have 4 lines of Cricket 5G.
How do they pay?
Oh, easy. Each line is only $25 a month.
Who are they calling?
Beats me. One sec, gotta take this.
Join Cricket Nation and get 4 lines for $25 per month each. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Cricket may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. New lines only. All lines must be selected. Unlimited plan fees. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. See cricketwireless.com for details.
There is one real estate agent who's been helping KIRO listeners longer than anyone else, and that's Wes Jones with sellwithwes.com. Wes, you've helped KIRO listeners in good markets and more difficult ones. What do you think has been the secret to your success?
Thanks, Brandy. Experience has taught us that to outperform the market, we needed to do things differently from the status quo, that we needed to do more. Our exclusive system covers innovative marketing locally and internationally, leading to more eyeballs on your home, better listing prep for better showings, negotiation strategies that eliminate pesky buyer contingencies, and generate stronger offers. Through our exclusive client programs, our sellers enjoy an extraordinary marketing experience utilizing techniques a traditional agent cannot offer.
So if you want to sell your home faster, at a higher price, and with fewer contingencies, if you want more, visit sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com, a better way to sell your home.
Make this the last holiday season in that old kitchen. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear-out. You won't believe the difference. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. With Heritage Homecraft, custom means built from scratch just for you. Our own craftsmen, not subcontractors, will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it all off with a brand new quartz countertop. With the holidays here, I know everyone's busy, but if you order your new Heritage Homecraft kitchen now for select install dates after the new year, I'll give you 12% off the entire project. Hey, all year long and especially next holiday season, you'll be delighted that you did. Call today, Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Are you looking at senior living options for you or a loved one? If so, you likely have many questions like, what can I afford? How long will my savings last? And if I run out of money, will I have to move out? If these questions are weighing on you, I'm here to talk you through different solutions. Hi, I'm Amanda from Care Partners Senior Living. At Care Partners, we're focused on offering high-quality, compassionate care at very affordable prices to help stretch and preserve your assets. And if you ever run out of funds and need to convert to Medicaid, you won't have to move. We have vibrant communities throughout Western Washington, Spokane, and Arizona offering independent, assisted living, and memory care. Our caregivers are some of the most loving and genuine people you'll ever meet. Stretch your assets, preserve your estate, and never worry about moving. That's peace of mind in the Care Partners Living difference. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com. Care Partners is excited to announce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, Snohomish, and North Creek Bothell. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Paid political announcement.
More than half of short-term rentals across Washington are booked by Washingtonians. Families traveling for their children's tournaments and games. Firefighters fighting wildfires. Traveling nurses providing critical care. Every day, short-term rentals are helping make travel more affordable. Legislators in Olympia are considering increasing taxes on short-term rentals. But with the cost of everything going up, we can't take another price increase. Keep travel affordable for us. Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive host pack.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Pendergast Law.
Okay. Hudson's going to do the long song or the short version? What's he going to do?
Short.
All right, Hudson. Yep.
Nice.
Wow. Whew, just didn't see that coming. We'll get to the letter of the day. First, take care of all the rest. Here we go.
Dennis in Seattle says, can you guys tell me why that newsman told John Curley that right-wingers have hearts too?
What news? Who said that?
Danny Westneat a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, right-wingers have hearts too.
You know,
I don't.
Dennis likes to throw callbacks.
Thank you, Dennis, for that one. You'll have to go back and find the answer. Hee-haw Aaron says, dude, it's 420.
Tina on the 425 says, I can tell the boys missed each other over the long weekend by all the teasing and jovial banter.
It's, so much of that just kind of, towel whipping.
That's right.
Pow. Tin Hat Jason says, end-of-life treatment for Ridgeway. Shouldn't that be a guillotine?
Nice. Ben from Mercer Island says, I'm thankful for my 51-year-old brother as he filled his sweatshirt pockets with sliced ham for the ride home.
Ben. That's why you invite him.
That's right.
Dean in Eastside says, John, a Dr. Pepper float is the best float ever. Way better than a root beer float. Well, now we know. Dean has, because we were just waiting for somebody to tip the scales.
Today we learned.
Now we know.
On Jim Walsh and the Tax the Rich movement, Jeff in Long Branch says, how about rescinding the tax-exempt treatment for the WEA and other unions in Washington? There's a progressive tax approach to raising revenue.
How about that one? Ivan in Evans says, the word payroll tells me the middle and lower class will be paying.
Adam in Mount Lake Terrace says, I just ran payroll for our tiny startup, and it's amazing how much taxes are being pulled for things like workers' comp and stuff that needs to be reduced, at least cut in half.
Sorry about that, Adam. And Summer in Gig Harbor says Starbucks Corporation is moving. Get ready for Seattle to be losing one of its big corporations, and these businesses are moving fast behind the scenes. Did we verify that?
We did not, no.
I was just reading it on the air like it's a fact. Thank you for that.
Jamestown and East Lake says, no, they already have payroll taxes, and they are as much as the equivalent of an income tax. I'm sorry, I have to say it's over and over again. I run payroll. I know what I'm seeing. I don't care that it's labeled administrative, and he had caps lock on for that whole thing.
It's Talking Sports with Rye 425. Wait, what happened to the hot tub cleaning job? Well, Rye's moved on. Now he's living in Lake Chelan.
Nice. Thailand Doug says, hey guys, Thailand Doug here. Yes, I'm back in Thailand and enjoying your infotainment topics every morning as I'm 15 hours ahead of Seattle time. Rye is a great addition to the mix. He inherited John's nose.
Oh, good. Okay. Thank you. And Sawati to you there, Thailand Doug.
Nice.
Kap kun krop. Sawati. Kap kun krop.
Spent a lot of time.
And now it is time for the letter of the day.
There you go.
This comes to us from Clinton O'Carver. We mentioned it, and here's a picture of it, just so you have a frame of reference.
Yeah. Wow, look at that.
He said, "Hey guys, you know when you get home from Thanksgiving dinner and you thought you wouldn't be hungry for the rest of the day, but you get a little snacky before bed? Well, I decided to try out Aaron's Egg in the Hole with my omega-3 Wilcox Family Farm eggs, and yum! I added a thin slice of Tillamook sharp cheddar and some chives from the garden. Highly recommend. Thanks, Aaron, for your whole recipe."
That's nice. Good job, Clint.
It looks
wow, look at that.
really,
Took a picture of it. See how we bring people together with our newstainment here.
And he got his copy of the Wilcox Family Farm eggs.
He did. Took it right out of the leather-bound book. All right.
All right, fine.
We got to do another hour, but I have to write my scammer back. All right, Nathan, what do you got to say for yourself, huh?
Well, we're thinning out there. Bellevue to Everett, 45 minutes. It's still a little crowded from Kirkland to Alderwood. Seattle to Everett, we're down to just 40. You're still crowded from Northgate to Linwood, but you're close to freeway speeds here. Linwood to Seattle is down to a half hour. We've cleared out Linwood, so we're still packed, though, from about Ravenna into downtown. North 5 jams up still to Michigan Curve into downtown. Our Lake Bridges look good. In Sumner, we've got this new collisions northbound 167 to 24th in the HOV lane, and that's at the beginning of this 2 mile or so back up through that Pacific Bridge work zone. Give yourself 10 to 15 minutes to clear this. Everywhere else, we're starting to thin out pretty rapidly now. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Save the date, Wednesday, December 10th. Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse for the 37th Annual Holiday Magic, providing holiday gifts and year-round support for more than 6,500 kids in foster care statewide. Over the past 36 years of Holiday Magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state. Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse this year and share the joy of the holiday season. Wednesday, December 10th. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
Okay, thank you. You know what? It's not your last chance to get in touch with Closets by Design. If you notice that as friends and family are coming in for the holidays, and man, the closets are incredibly disorganized. Maybe open that closet up to take out some of the old Christmas ornaments and stuff just falls out because you got stuff jammed in there. Wouldn't it be nice to have some organization? It reduces the stress. You feel so much better about enjoying your home. I can tell you from personal experience, when Closets by Design came out and redesigned the entire garage with a whole wall of cabinets, and then they did the amazing work upstairs when it came to the master bedroom, and the other closet was in the other room. Everything has a place at the barn now. I am just tickled pink with what Closets by Design was able to do. They're a local company, family run for 22 years. I wanted to make sure that they really customized, and that's exactly what they do. That's exactly the experience that you'll have. They're going to give you 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months financing and free installation. I'm talking about Closets by Design. Call them today at 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
It's always such a pleasure for me to catch up with you, Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. And as I understand it, calendar year is wrapping up. There's never a better time to take care of your aches and pains. Why?
Well, it's always a great time to come see us here at IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. We'll take care of your aches and pains. We'll get you better. But particularly, Brock, at the end of the year, most people have met their deductibles. They may have HSA, may have FSA funds. So use the opportunity to use your insurance to treat those aches and pains so you're not taking them into the new year. So you're healthy, fit, and you're excited about the new year. That's what it's all about. Here at IRG, we are so dedicated to making sure our patients really understand the insurance because it's a complex world. So when you call us, we're going to help you navigate your insurance. But I will tell everybody listening right now, if you've met your deductible, get your aches and pains treated here at IRG. We'll take care of you. We'll take care of your insurance. We'll take care of your family. We'll take care of everybody.
Clinics up and down the Puget Sound for you to go visit or see them online at irgpt.com.
Black Friday deals are back at Dania Furniture. For a limited time, discover incredible savings on Nordic-inspired furniture and decor for every space in your home. From statement pieces for your living room to instant upgrades for the dining room, bedroom, and more. It's the perfect time to refresh your favorite space or reimagine your entire home. Dania Furniture. We make it simple. You make it home. Stop by your local showroom today or shop online at daniafurniture.com.
How do you stay humble when you're America's #1 wiper blade? That's what we're currently dealing with at Rain-X. Is it even possible to humble brag when you bully Mother Nature like we do? Do we sound too conceited if we keep repeating how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America? No, we'll take a lesson from our wipers and just keep doing our job with humility. As America's #1 wiper blade. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1.